So
Hey.
I'm still figuring it out.
Hey.
Been playing this game for 2 years, still figuring it out.
Yeah.
So So yeah, that fight was pretty spicy, but if you gave Orn a turret,
Oh, no.
would you be able
No.
to call him Torbjorn?
Oh my god! I am done!
I don't know. It's up to Tom. It's his background character.
No.
If you gave him a torpedo, would he be Torbjorn?
Right.
Quick question.
Are we ready to play this game?
I have one more question.
25
before we
minutes.
start. I'm sorry. I want to ask a question to Mel really quick.
Yes,
Mel, here.
yes.
Do you have all 3 attunement slots filled?
I have the cloak. The cloak takes up one. The hang on, I have to look at my inventory. Sorry. The cloak takes up one. The earring does not.
Nope.
Does the quiver? No, the quiver does not.
I honestly don't think you have a lot of attuned items.
Huh, I could have sworn I had.
You have a lot of gear that Walden gave you that does not require attunement.
Right.
Okay,
You're like Walden's favorite subject. You just trot all his shit.
I've had for some reason I've had it in my head that I don't have many attunement slots left. I should I can't really.
Well,
Okay.
if you have a free... Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, does my bow require attunement?
No.
Because it's the +1 bow.
+1 bow does
Okay.
not. I don't think. Let me check.
I could have
No,
sworn
because
it.
my weapon does not. It should not.
Plus-
It would not make sense for that to require attunement because my weapon doesn't.
+1 weapon does not require attunement.
Okay, so the reason I asked, sorry, Falk, I no longer attune to the Medallion of Thoughts. Do you want that? Since you're inquisitive. Allows you to cast Detect Thought, 3 charges, regain 1d3 charges at dawn. DC 13, you can use it to resurface thoughts freely without anyone knowing, or if you want to probe into their mind deeper, they will know, even if you succeed, if they fail the check, you can learn more. So if you want to be really aggressive about learning shit through people's minds, you could do that.
That's a little bit scary.
It is scary. Goff used it very lightly. He only used the full version of it, of the cast,
Yeah, but
when he-
picture Batman with the ability to read thoughts. Just throwing that
He may
out
not
there.
do that. There might be some moral issue for him in that. No.
Yeah.
Batman knows what kind of fan fiction you read.
Arcadia's greatest detective can now read.
Well, you can choose whether you want to use. I think when we're doing all this item management stuff, Goff probably hands it over to Ellen and is just here you might find use in this later on, because he's kind of stopped using it.
Possibly. I feel.
You don't have to. Just
Could it be a thing where if an insight check means it gets her thinking someone's acting really suspicious, she could use it on someone?
It's up to you. As long as you're attuned to the medallion and you want to cast the spell, you can try. But again, surface thoughts are the only thing that you can read without consequence.
yeah,
Yeah.
people will know if you try to delve deeper, and then you'll have to deal with whatever reaction they have to that.
What's the DC?
13.
It's not high.
Okay.
But
It's not very high.
what is it? What kind of saving throw is it?
I don't have it written
Intelligence.
down, but it's probably wisdom or intelligence. I don't know. I don't have it written down.
Detect. Let me just look up detect thoughts real quick and tell you what type it is. It is a well. Okay. I don't see anything about a saving throw here.
It says I wrote down DC 13.
Yeah,
on
I know it
my
has a
notes.
DC 13, but I guess it's an intelligence check, not an intelligence saving throw. Oh no, see, hold on. Detect thoughts, for the duration, you can blah, 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 blah. You initially learn surface thoughts, is an action you can either shift your attention to another creature or attempt to probe deeper. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Yeah.
If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind, such as something it worries over, loves, or hates. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you are probing into its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, The creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence check. If it succeeds, the spell ends. That's it. Okay, are we ready to play?
Hell yeah.
Either way, I hand it off to you. Whether you want to tune it or not, it's up to you. It doesn't really. I mean, it won't. It probably won't be a big deal in the current, the immediate consequences of what we're doing. But in the future. Sorry for delaying. I just wanted
No,
to.
it's fine. I'd prefer that we get all the logistics out of the way before we get into the RP.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Let me just get some water. Okay.
Hey, bot.
Hey, bot. All right, so when last we left you, Blue Hearts, you were engaged in a pitched battle on the high seas against Orn and his Cragbreaker pirates. You had cornered him on his ship. The Arcadians were entered within a pitched battle with his pirates on the lower decks, and you and your party faced off against Orn and Coria and their remaining allies. Ultimately, you were able to take Orn down, at which point you elected to spare his life, at which point he was taken prisoner by the Arcadians and brought to their ship to be brought back to Arcadia to stand trial. After looting some plunder from the pirates' holds, you turned your attention to the remaining task at hand, which was the assault upon the Lonely Island, the obtaining the Pall of Undeath, and rescuing whatever prisoners had been taken captive by the undead and by the Crimson Harbingers. So that is where we pick up. General Vogel gathers you all once you've rested. In the past hour, many Arcadian ships have converged on the island, forming a perimeter. Admiral Tempest and Major Jackson have both joined you all on the Dauntless as you plan your next moves. As you're all standing around a command table, General Vogel points toward the island in the distance. He says, "All right. I've ordered the ships to go no further than 3,000 feet from the island. We don't want to risk their artillery. Now, our scouts report that there are encampments all around the outer beaches circling the island. Each of them appears to have an installation where that disintegration magic is coming from. If we can make a single opening, take out one of those camps, we'll be able to create a landing site. And that's where all of you come in." And he looks towards you, the Blue Hearts. "I hate to put this on you once more, but you are the most capable people we have."
I know.
He sort of grins at you, Mido, and Major Jackson chuckles a little bit under her breath. "All right, we need you to take a rowboat, something that won't attract any notice, sneak aboard that island. Take out one of the camps, disable it in whatever way that you feel is best, and then that way we can have the rest of the troops push in." At that point, Admiral Tempest steps forward as well, her hands folded behind her back. Her bright blue skin sort of almost has like a translucent sheen to it as the sun seems to be poking out through the clouds once more. She says, "I did some scrying on the island myself. There's a series of structures on it buried in the jungle at the center. It appears to be a trio of ziggurats of some kind.
Oh god.
There's a foul energy emanating from that place. I'd be willing to bet that's where your artifact is."
Did you see our doppelgangers while you were scrying, by any chance?
"No, I'm afraid not. But there are a number of camps both within the beaches and inside the jungles. There appear to be a number of cultists, a number of undead. There are shipyards on the far side of the island, where they appear to be making boats of some sort. Anyway, once you've created an opening, you're free to push ahead while the troops touch ground and start freeing the prisoners. I know that time is of the essence, and if there's any possibility that we can secure this artifact before it's used against us or before your doppelgangers get a hold of it, the better."
Did one of the ziggurats seem more active?
No, they seem to be clustered fairly close together. I'd estimate that they are part of a larger complex that might reach underground.
Well,
That would make sense.
Okay.
So, all right. So, how do we plan on? I turn to sort of the rest of the Blue Hearts. How do we plan on getting past those defenses?
That's the question. We could try an illusion or invisibility.
One of Hereth's invisibility illusion, like her illusions that make us invisible, perhaps.
That would be a good trick.
Do you have enough juice for that today?
Alex isn't here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Burp,
I keep forgetting.
I'll say she gives you a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, because if Alex was here, they would have gotten my Arrested Development joke.
Oh yeah.
It's an illusion!
I didn't hear the joke, I'm sorry.
I said, well, that's a nice trick. And then, it's not a trick, Michael, it's an illusion, sorry.
Well, and it's a good fallback. Let's know if we have anything better. They might still blast a boat with invisible people in it.
That's true. I mean, I can turn us all invisible, but I can't turn a boat invisible. So.
We do have... I do have that deck of illusions. But I don't know if that would work on water.
That's
Cards
true.
might just sink.
I think cards float, don't they? Paper floats, wood floats.
Would you be able to put it on the surface of the boat? I'm not entirely sure what.
Well, I mean, the illusion would be a distraction, so we wouldn't want them to... I don't think the... I don't suppose that we'd want the illusion on our boat, because then they might just attack us anyway. But it is something to consider, I suppose.
I'd like to avoid putting them on alert any more than possible.
Yes. As amazing as the Laughing Hag was the last time we used it,
That was really amazing.
it was very amazing. I don't think the things we're fighting here are as mindless as what we were dealing with last time there.
Maybe. I suppose we'll find out one way or another what we need to do.
I suppose we will.
Goff, you can't, like, mess with the water or anything to kind of hide this in the water?
Like mist?
Let me think as my player checks the spell book.
Goff stares into the camera.
Goff pulls out the dungeon guide. The player's
handbook.
If you were a Tempest cleric, you could cast Fog Cloud, but
Yeah, I don't think I have an ability to make mist. Here's the number of things I can do. I can make a flood. I can cause water level on all standing water in an area to rise by just 20 feet. I can, which I think can also turn into a wave.
Yep.
If you choose an area in a large body of water, you can instead choose a 20-foot tall wave that travels from one side to the area to the other. Messes up vehicles, that won't help. Part water, you cause water in an area to move apart and create a trench, which I use to fuck up those big tidal waves, I think. Redirect flow, you cause flowing water in an area to move in the direction you choose, even if the water has to flow over obstacles. That could be useful, maybe. I could like make our boat move in a weird way. Whirlpool, this effect requires a body of water, at least 50 feet square 50 feet square and 25 feet deep. You cause a whirlpool to form, fucks up stuff.
If we need to turn very, very quickly.
Yeah. And that's it. I can't do anything else. So,
Okay.
Maybe like hiding
missed.
us within a wave or something?
Or behind a wave.
Yeah.
it could. I could do a number of things. If my concentration is held. Could help us avoid damage or detection. Maybe. But
And
they might.
also one more question, Sissel.
Hmm?
Is I know I've seen you use it before, but I keep forgetting. Is the wall of force invisible?
Yes.
Would
But
it
you also know
manage?
that disintegration magic can take it out instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Does it pierce it, or does it basically
Would
nullify
it
the shot?
destroys
block
it.
Does it nullify the disintegration beam though? Does it will the beam go through it, or will it
the beam
absorb
will
it
not
for one
the
shot?
beam will not go through it. The wall of force, once a disintegration ray hits the wall of force is destroyed.
But
and
it'll
then-
block that one ray.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it will be a wall. Could be a last resort if we are struggling to reach the shore.
If I can throw one up if it looks like they're going to attack us, but I don't think I can move it. Or at least not rapidly.
That's fair. I just, as long as like if we see a disintegration beam about to fire at us, if we have something to put in the way that isn't
Yes.
us.
As a last resort.
Mhm.
Just see how
I could
many
also-
charges I got that back. Let's
If we are under an illusion, I could also create a wave far away from us. Maybe that would destroy. Don't know why it would, but an option. I don't have a lot available that I could do.
I think maybe throwing up an illusion, like we did with the pirates, might be our best bet for now.
Hmm.
What do
I
you
don't
think?
believe there's any safe method.
Well,
we just-
no. We're heading into
Oh,
an island with
absolutely not.
all sorts of horrible things, but
Let's yeah, I think we should definitely go with the illusion first. And just question. Have we asked if they've tried like illusioning ships or like
You get the sense they haven't brought many arcane magic users to the island
okay, that's fair.
or to the blockade. Admiral Tempest seems to be the only one who has that capability. She seems to be a magic user of some sort, but she doesn't. Obviously, being an admiral of the fleet, she's not going to put herself in harm's way.
Okay. Well,
Is there?
we can only assume that our doppelgangers have made it there. So, it's definitely possible.
They were only in a rowboat as well.
Hmm. So perhaps the smaller the better.
Was there a particular embankment that seemed easier to approach, or a path towards the ziggurats that seems safer? I'm asking the admiral.
She pauses for a moment, and after a moment, she replies. She says, "Unfortunately, we didn't get much of a good look of the island itself. It's hard to get close enough for a very good reconnaissance, and scrying magic has its limits, especially when there's interference. I will say that there do appear to be a number of coves along the shoreline that you might be able to come upon quietly and hide your vessel from sight."
Hmm.
The hiding part, I think, is fairly easy. Alright. So So, perhaps it would be better. Question: how far off are we from the island? Like, if we started rowing.
About 3,000 feet. So,
Okay.
let me just do some quick calculations about how fast a rowboat can go. Can't go that fast, can it? Huh.
We do have a couple things in our inventory that could help us.
Hmm.
Also, I do want to mention that the Ring of Water Walking, which we got, does not require attunement, and so like anyone can just wear that. So if there's someone who thinks that they might benefit from that, maybe, like, I don't know, someone who is over water a lot, Sissel or Ellen.
I mean, Sissel and
Oh.
Ellen can fly.
Yeah, I feel like it
I
would
guess
be
that's
Well,
like
true.
Ellen can't right now.
Ellen
Well-
needs another 2 hours.
So that's something that could help, on at least when it comes to approaching, because being able to walk on water could help someone. I will also mention this is not necessarily something that I have any control over, but Ellen does have noisemaker arrows, which could prove useful in some way.
I would
Maybe.
say that since the player handbook rowboats are bad, and I don't believe that a rowboat's only going to go 1.5 miles per hour, I'm going to just kind of homebrew to say your ship, your rowboat, if you were to row from the boats to the shore and go about 3,000 feet, it would take you about like 10 minutes of rowing.
Oh,
Sounds about right.
All right.
I was literally expecting it to be like another day.
Oh
3,000
God, a
feet?
day on a
No.
rowboat.
No.
Because we have spent many days in our rowboat.
You have, but this is getting toward the climax of this chapter, and I'm not going to make you spend a day on a rowboat.
We have. I have that immovable rod that I still haven't used.
Really?
That's clipped to my belt. We have the decanter of endless water. I don't know if that would help in any sort of scenario. Maybe it could be used to like boost the boat, like with like a water jet. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like Mario.
Yeah, it actually does have that ability. If you look at
It
the
has a geyser.
Yeah.
The geyser actually, I think, can direct it. You can direct the geyser
Yeah.
and cause a pressure.
Um.
You have the mayo jar.
That
We have
I don't know how that would
mayo.
help us in this situation.
Get hungry.
Yeah, it
Stir
gives you all you need.
mayonnaise and just start like
You want a snack?
we find the machinery that's this like creating the disintegration beam, and we just cover it in mayonnaise and make it
Oh my
defunct.
God.
you have the
What
cloak
the
of the
fuck?
manta ray.
That doubles your swim speed, right?
Cloak
I also have a potion of water breathing. Just
does not require. Yeah, we don't. It does not require attunement. So I feel like we should equip this. Some people should equip this stuff, like the water walking and the manta ray thing, just because, like, in case something bad happens, we
I
should
think-
have.
Separate people.
Yes.
With the water walking in the
I think
magic
we should
ring.
just do that.
Yeah,
'Cause no
I
one's
mean, if you're walking on water, you're not going to be swimming underneath it. So
right.
Walking
So
on water.
maybe who would suffer in the water the most if they didn't have something to help them?
I mean,
Mito would
all of
sink.
us.
Mito. So maybe
Yeah,
Mito should have
Mito's
water
true.
walking.
Mito has
Or
wearing
the-
plate
either
armor
one.
or a chain armor or something. It'd be very difficult for her to swim.
Would the cloak
would
cloak
negate
sink
that?
immediately.
The cloak, I would say, would negate it. I would allow that.
So Mito should.
But I had a cool cloak now.
Okay, yeah. So you have a cloak of the manta ray. While wearing this cloak with its hood up, you can breathe underwater and have a swimming speed of 60 feet. Pulling the hood up or down requires an action, so it takes an action to swap between hood up down.
I'm gonna take off my plain cloak, and that's just for decoration purposes. And put this on.
I think if I remember, we got this. We got this item like back during like the gangs arc. We were like breaking
Yeah.
way,
gangs,
like a year and a
And-
half ago. Jesus.
and we never used it. Falk described it as having a pretty blue color. I remember that. But
Well, then it'll probably just.
so yeah, Mito take that. I guess I could. I or Horace should take the ring. Maybe. I guess Ellen can't fly right now, but she can probably swim.
Ellen is wearing like leather armor. She'll be
Right.
fine, I think. I think
Horace
it would
can
be
also
difficult for everybody in the water because it's the ocean,
Horace
and
can also teleport, so
right. Well, she can dimension door. I just feel. I mean, okay. I'll say I'll wait until Alice gets back, and
Okay.
right now
I'll
I'll
be
say
back
I'll
soon.
take the water walking ring, because, just in case, I'll
Okay.
have it on. But when Alice is back, I'll ask them if they think that they would benefit from it better. Because I can also control water probably to like help myself in a situation. Maybe I can probably like move myself. So, sorry again for
Oh.
item management.
That's part
So-
of D&D, man.
so-
don't apologize.
Yeah, so just making use of our tools that we have available to us, essentially.
Yeah.
This is the big push. You better bring everything to bear. So
I'm thinking, would for the approach, would it be good if Ellen was off to the side, invisible from Sissel, like with the ring of water walking, so she can sort of scout ahead of the water boat?
can you keep up with a boat?
How fast does the boat go?
I'm gonna say that it will. Here's what I'm gonna say. The boat itself, you could probably keep up with the boat if you're running across the water. First of all, the water is a little choppy, so it'd be weird. And
Oh,
second of all,
true.
if you Ellen are marathon running for 10 minutes,
Oh yeah. Okay, nope. No.
I will have you roll Constitution saving throws to not have
Yeah.
exhaustion by the time you reach the
I'm
island.
just
No.
picturing Ellen like Naruto running across the water.
I mean, you do have noisemaker arrows still, so that could. I mean, you could still be in the boat, but you could fire an arrow that makes a noise in a different direction. Maybe if we're worried about being detected, we would use something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not being detected, we probably won't need to worry about anything like that, like making distractions in different directions.
That's true.
But
But yeah.
sorry, I'm starting to like
If-
discuss this out of character. My bad.
It's
Sorry.
okay. Well, okay, sorry, yeah. In-character voices for discussing. Well, if I had the water walking ring, I could probably go invisible outside the boat and sneak around if we could. But Goff, you are wearing chainmail, right?
Yes.
So perhaps you might be better off with it. Chainmail's heavy,
it
right?
is freely swapped. I will wear it for now. But we'll see.
Okay.
Just don't fall in the water, okay? Problem solved.
Well, I know how to swim, but I guess I won't need to. How does this work? If I fall out of the boat, do I just face plant into the water like it's solid ground? Or do only my feet stand on it?
Why don't you try it?
How far?
I don't think I want to do that in our situation right now,
I'd
but
say that the water walking ring is sort of like an elective thing. Like you can choose to have it active or
Okay.
not.
okay.
So
Okay.
if you want to hit the water and go underwater, you can. It's not going to stop you.
Seems like maybe I could test it out and maybe I can choose. One of us will find out sooner or later, I'm sure.
Well, we may need it very soon, so we'll find out.
I suppose we will try what we did before with the pirates. We will go at a slow pace, and we will hide under illusion. And if things go awry, we have the wall. I could use control water to move the boat, or I could make a wave. You have your arrows.
Mhm.
Well, let's just hope that, however it goes, that we get to it safe before.
Before anything notices us.
We need to get past whatever fires that beam. That is more dangerous than anything beyond it. Well,
Perhaps get
probably.
to whatever fires it so we can dismantle it.
Yes, we must, as the Admiral requested.
Do I have No, hang on, sorry. Do we have any way to signal the Admiral once it's dismantled?
Yes, what do we do about that, General?
General Vogel says,
Do we have like a flare?
I can throw up a firebolt.
that might be best. Something improvised would be best. We don't want to risk bringing anything that could potentially signal if you are captured or killed, that could signal us and draw us into a trap. So keep it improvised, I'd say.
I perhaps 2 firebolts for it's safe, 1 firebolt for we are captured, do not come. That way we have a signal to show off if we do get captured and they demand that we send something.
Very well. I'll notify our bosun to keep an eye out.
All right. So we're gonna throw out this illusion. I hope they're okay with this.
Quick question. Turok and Korea, are they on this boat?
Yeah. They're
Right.
sitting on some of the steps near that kind of separate the fore and the aft of the ship, near where like you walk up the steps to go to the
The steps
Wheel.
of Nald.
and they're sitting there and they're talking quietly.
Oh.
Could I say, well, yes, let's us. I suppose we must get ready, but give me a moment. And I'm gonna walk over to them.
As you're doing so, as you get in range, you see that Coria's sort of dried her eyes, and occasionally, Jirek will say something, and a small smile will break over her lips, or she'll laugh a little bit. And as you're approaching, Jirek looks up at you, and he looks up with you with a very stern look, one that you've seen before of a man who is not very good with expressing his emotions, but at the same time, you could tell by the glint in his eye that he has an expression of gratitude.
So, hi, King.
Yes.
I tried it. I don't want to call you that anymore.
It's probably for the best.
Thanks. Thank you for believing in us. For being a better man than I thought you would be.
He nods. He says, "Thank you for giving me another chance." And he looks over at Coria.
Now, I look at both of them. If this world is to survive, hopes must be high. But there is always the chance that things turn out sour. And I don't know if I'll come back. I must believe that I will. Or all is lost, I think, but... And I kind of kneel down to Korea. I'm glad to have met you. You are strong. And... I'm... sorry that we had to meet the way that we did.
She places her hands on the back of yours, touching the symbol of Eldath. And though she is a Goliath, she's much smaller than you.
Yeah.
She says, "Don't think you've seen the last of me."
I'm like, I see this like happening, and I'm whispering to my earring, "Invite her to our place."
Well, should everyone come out of this, I would like to see you again, and I would like to make up for the time we've lost. I have not known many who practice the arts that I do, even under a different goddess. I think it would be exciting to talk about.
Well then, you best come back alive then.
This is my plan too, and I turn and look at Alan.
Ellen's nodding like enthusiastically.
it would behoove my friends to ask you that, to let you know, we have a place in Arcadia called the Dapper Snapdragon. It is a elaborate establishment. Maybe you could visit sometime.
Well,
And I look up at Dragon, and your fool of a father is welcome as well.
I have many duties here, but it would do my daughter well to go and see the world. Learn of the place that we've for so long been away from, been a part of, and find what our place in it could be.
And I take one of my hands and I take the other hand, my right hand,
Mm-hmm.
that Corey doesn't have her hands on. I place on top of hers and I just say, "Your." I kind of just bow my head a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I think what you were saying broke up a little bit.
No, I didn't say anything. I was kind of thinking.
Okay.
Just, I know your father can be difficult, but please just remember where your place is. It is with your people. I don't know what will happen with Umberlee. That's very complicated. I couldn't even begin to know what will happen with her and your people now. But I am sure that if she were a more benevolent one, she would be proud of you. And I am proud of you, even when you were my opponent. Maybe you don't believe all the same things I do. I have tossed away my blood, my connection, most of my life, because I was abandoned, in many ways, when I was young. So I left. But when I heard I had a niece, a cleric, I don't know how to describe it. But I am proud of you. And I believe that should this day be won, I will see you again.
She listens to you patiently, and she nods at the end of it, and she says, "I think we'll have a lot to talk about in the future."
Yes. We do.
At that point,
And, sorry, go ahead.
Jirak places his hand on your shoulder, and he looks at you in the eyes, and he stares at you for a very long time. And then he says, "You and your allies better return alive. I don't want you breaking my girl's heart."
You know what I have said. We must.
Go. Good.
Now, do have one more thing I must say. These devices, these artifacts, they warp and consume those that they affect, those nearby. It's been a long time since Artor left, am I right?
A week.
Could be too long.
Given up hope at this point, but if you can find him, and he's still alive.
I looked at Corey, did you have a strong connection with him as well?
He was my mentor at the temple.
I thought. Well,
He went out there so long ago with some of the other apprentices to see if this was Umberlee's wrath and if he could appease it.
if only we could have told him sooner. Well, I wanted to bring him up, because I do not know what will have become of him. But I believe if we can separate, if he is still alive and we can separate him from whatever may be influencing him, if anything at all, he might be saved, as Horace's father was when madness took him. But I'm just letting you know he is probably in great danger, and his life, I cannot tell, I would not know. A pall of undeath, we do not know how that affects living beings for over a long period of time. But we will do our best.
Jarek nods and he says, "Very well. If he's alive, then find your way to bring him home. I mean, if he is not, then bring him an honorable rest."
I will try, and I'm sure if he is alive, he will not be happy to see me, and I may have to hit him. But I may take some joy in it, I will not lie.
He probably deserves it.
Probably. Oh, he most certainly does. All three of you did. But there are ways of apologizing. And I clap his shoulder. And I have tarried too long. We have an incredibly dangerous mission that I can put off no longer. I hope to see you soon. And I turn to walk back to everyone.
Alright. So you rejoin your group.
We ready to go?
No, but we have to. I don't want to do this, but we have no choice.
Well, the longer we wait, the worse it'll be.
Definitely. So, let's take out the folding boat.
Were we using our boat, or were they going to give us one?
They could give you one if you want, but you could also use yours. I'm not gonna object to that.
Why don't we... They have a spare boat. Maybe we should use one of theirs.
So we
Keep
can
in mind that
actually-
the folding boat is magical, so it can't be destroyed.
Oh, is that
Oh.
true? Never mind. Didn't say that.
Magical
Not even by-
items cannot. It's not easy to destroy. Magical
Not even a
items.
disintegration ray?
No.
Oh.
If
shit, never mind.
that was true,
Okay.
if you shot someone with a disintegration ray and they died, all their stuff would go with them, all their magic items, and
I
that's
guess
not
it's true. It's just such a fucked up powerful spell. I just thought maybe you could destroy the boat. Okay, never mind. I didn't say that. Well, at least we can't lose the vessel. But we may have to jump out if things are getting bad.
We'll be ready for that, I hope.
I hope.
God, I hope.
Well, it's about 10 minutes, so hopefully it won't escalate that quickly.
Everything escalates more quickly than you think.
Don't worry
Everything
about it.
happens so much. I feel like I read that somewhere once before. Words of Wisdom by...
Hmm.
I
That's a
think it
weird
was a
way of
play
phrasing
about a
it.
horse. Everything happens so much as a horse ebooks tweet, okay?
Oh, okay.
I
That was out of character context for my in-game.
I thought it was a meme, but I couldn't place it.
entertainment in Arcadia is strange.
Ellen is at the
imagine
forefront of
Dada,
like surrealist plays.
I feel like there's like this Dadaist bard in Arcadia. It's basically horse
Oh
ebooks.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean
That's
that
my
may as it's probably just Deep Chris.
Bard
That's my
girl.
favorite bard.
Deep Chris just puts on like a weird horse mask.
Yeah, like that one from all the videos and pictures
Yeah.
people wear.
Yeah.
And then he just plays a
Just
song.
goes up there and he like says like one liner or tweets. Okay. It's really stupid. Let's get on with it.
There was a time when Ellen and or when like Loom and Alarin were really into horse Chris books.
Horse Chris books.
Horse crisp.
I hate this. Okay. So what are you all doing? Are you taking your folding boat?
I
Boat.
guess so.
Boat. Okay.
Boat.
All right. Okay. You step up to the side of the Dauntless, and say the magic word, your folding boat unfolds as you hold it over the edge. With a splash, it falls into the choppy waters below and remains there as you descend from the ladder over the side of the man of war and make your way onto it. And then you begin rowing, stroke by stroke, toward the shore in the distance. And as you approach, the skies roil violently. Thick gray clouds darken the blue overhead, casting shadow upon the land. And you can make out the presence of torchlight and bonfires along the shore. As you begin getting closer, Hiraeth quietly incants the words to a major image spell, shrouding your entire boat in an illusion to disguise it from view. And as you push on, you finally get your first good look at the lonely island. The white, sandy beaches lead up into an odd-looking jungle interior, for this is not a jungle that you've ever seen before. It's not typical trees, tropical trees that dot the island, but in fact, an unnatural-looking jungle that appears to be made of a mixture of seabed coral, algae stalks, and weird polyps.
Oh.
Oh, that's weird.
I mean, it has been underwater for a very long time.
You spot along the shores as well, interspersed with the occasional cove, interspersed with the beaches, the occasional cove, which would be ideal for hiding a small boat. The beaches themselves are littered with debris, seaweed, coral, and driftwood from ships, and as if the island itself was a wreck risen from the seafloor. The coral forest, too, seems completely out of place. Of course. In the distance, at the far end of the island, you can see plumes of smoke for what must be signs of industry. Perhaps the shipyard that General Vogel mentioned. As you close in, after a few minutes of rowing, unseen, you spot one particularly well-hidden cove, and that's when you hear a rumbling from the beach. The air seems to electrify, and you find the hairs on your arms and neck standing on end.
Cecil?
And then a mighty sound bellows across the waves, like a terrible, reverberating horn.
Of course, if I like the moment I see something.
The moment green appears.
You see a green light in the distance, and then this terrible reverberating horn sound that just sounds like.
Oh yeah, that's what?
Oh, Inception.
Yeah, basically. Sounds like a Reaper from Mass Effect.
Oh, I thought you were saying Bode, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, just like a horn sound.
Yeah, Bode's back, baby. I'm the Paul of Undeath.
Oh shit. Shit, I should have done that. No, okay.
No.
You see, as the sound echoes across the waves, you see a massive, pale green streak of light fire out from one of the shores and sail across the waves, sending ripples in its wake and causing your boat to rock sharply as it passes your boat.
Oh.
How far away
You
is it?
follow
How
the
far away?
ray. You follow the ray into the distance and watch as it crashes into a distant rocky outcrop in the waters near the fleet blockade. There's a thunderous explosion that follows as rock and dirt and sand kick up in all directions, and the ensuing tidal wave batters the nearby ships and forces them off course as they struggle to prevent themselves from sailing too close and into the firing line. As the dust clears, you see that the small island that was the weapon's target is no more, as if it had never been.
Ooh.
Ooh.
How wide was the shot? Like, how close to our boat was it?
It was probably a good 50 feet off from your boat.
I
It
wasn't
didn't
sure
look
if it was
like it was targeting you. It looked like it was targeting you. It looked like you were incidentally near it as it fired.
I'm just sorry.
It was a massive beam. We're talking like just a gigantic laser beam that was probably like 15 feet tall.
Not
I'm just-
great.
Probably
I'm-
just as wide, and it just shot this massive laser out. And
I'm just imagining that thing fires and all of a sudden the boat just frees and Sissel's like getting ready to like like everyone's eyes are wide and Wraith is just like hold the illusion up. Like everyone's just like
Yeah, getting ready to do it. And then...
Alan is just like ready to jump ship.
So
As it doesn't hit you, it doesn't hit any of the fleet. They seem to be out of its range, but it does hit a nearby island that causes a bit of turbulence for those boats and obliterates the island itself. It's no more as the waves push in and cover where the island used to be. With that being done, you make the final leg of your journey, pulling your boat up onto the shore of a small rocky cove before disembarking.
Are we out of the firing line of that thing now?
Yeah, you're
Oh
up on
boy.
Alright. Where does it look like it came from, that particular
It looks like
ship?
it came maybe a few hundred feet east to your right, essentially. So if you were to head right along the shoreline or into the forest, you would probably come across where it shot from.
Since we just
If I like squint, can I like make out anything in the distance? Like
Are you using your eagle eye goggles or whatever
Yes.
those were? Okay, make a.
I
make
might as well.
Make an investigation
Quick.
check.
quick interruption. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be
Sure.
right back.
I have my Walden goggles.
Yeah,
which
if you're using your Walden goggles, that gives you a vision of what?
I thought that was advantage.
It gives you advantage, but it also gives you a certain range of vision.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Precision goggles. Investigate. Perception rolls. 1,000 feet.
Yeah. So you could definitely see what's making it out if you do a proper investigation roll.
Okay. First roll was
Is it perception or investigation or both of them?
both.
Okay. So roll
Uh,
damage on that.
First roll was a natural 15. Second roll is a natural 17.
So that's like a 30.
So that's a plus. So investigation is plus 12.
Okay, so
So
29.
29.
Okay.
Almost 30.
So as you gaze toward the direction of where the large beam came from, you can make out what looks to be a form of an open clearing on the shoreline where there has been constructed a large encampment, essentially. There seems to be a number of ramshackle shacks around the beach, as well as makeshift planks and log barricades that are guarding what appears to be a very peculiar looking weapon of sorts. It seems to be a cannon of some kind, although this cannon seems very tall. It is made of a dark obsidian metal. It is all angles,
Does it look
squares.
like a precursor?
It looks like a precursor aesthetic. Yes, it's got that obsidian colored metal with a number of green runes lining it.
What are we looking at? I just got back.
Ellen just did used her precision goggles that Walden gave her to scout out the shore from where that beam shot.
I don't
Oh,
think I've
okay.
used them in like a year.
So that's-
Okay.
Yeah,
what you
so
saw.
So they look like
I'm just gonna
precursor
say,
stuff.
well, okay, the beams seem to be firing from a precursor cannon.
Oh.
It's got the black metal and all the runes and the green
Right.
runes. I have no idea how we deactivate this.
What would they have been guarding? Would they have cannons that can do this?
I mean,
I mean, it doesn't matter now, but it's flexing.
before we've run into those. We've run into precursor runes that definitely seemed like vaults. This seems like heightened security compared to those vaults.
Yes. It makes sense. So, what is our plan of approach?
Well, we go to the cove. I think once we're on the island, I don't think it...
You are
Oh,
on the island.
We are.
You've gone up to the cove and you've disembarked.
Oh,
here.
we've disembarked.
We're like in a
Okay.
cave or something, right?
Right. Yeah, I think... I don't think they'll... I don't want to take that chance, though. If it can obliterate entire islands, I don't think they would want to fire it directly underneath itself. So...
Did it look like it could rotate, fire in any direction? Or did it seem fixed in a particular angle?
What did it look like?
I'd say with that roll, you did notice there looked to be some kind of tracks on it that give it a limited range of firing. It doesn't fire straight ahead,
Okay.
but it doesn't look like it could go a
Like
full
turn
180.
180. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got a limited degree of motion, which is why there's a number of these embankments, these
That makes
encampments
sense.
all along.
I
It
suppose
doesn't
it's
look
one
like
big
it
one.
can...
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it can go all the way around. It does turn a little bit, but not all the way.
So we should approach from the flank or from behind.
Yes.
And I suppose I don't know if we can turn it off, but maybe we just have to get rid of whoever's manning it, or maybe it's auto. Oh gosh.
If
Oh,
it's
God, no,
automated,
if it does it on its own, well, that's going to be much more complicated.
if it does it on its own, we send up a single flare. Because that's not... Although,
Wouldn't that
if it
lead them to believe we've
does...
been captured?
Single flare was we do not approach.
I could also use my Raven
Oh,
to
yes.
communicate more specifically what's going on, because assuming we get to this, and we get to this cannon safely, without being captured, they will assume we have been captured. That, based on what you said before.
That's true.
So
that's
we may
true.
need clarification. But let's hope that there's something we can do before we decide to do that.
Yes. That's... Did it look like... It was... Did it look like the runes were like lighting up and like sort of involved in the power of the...
Yeah.
Powering of the machine?
Well, it's hard to tell
Okay.
from this. I would say it's hard to tell from
Yeah.
this distance and that distance, and as well, you probably aren't as familiar with the arcane to
Arcane.
that extent. Yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of like a fusion of arcane magic and technology.
Were there like moving parts aside from just the...
It's hard to tell from this distance. You'd have to get closer
Okay.
to look.
Okay. Alright. I would... We should probably get closer so that our resident arcane experts can look at it, see what we can do. I remember
That's me,
that...
right?
Yes.
Sure.
And...
Hey.
And I hope that, hopefully, maybe I can take a look on the mechanical end of things and see if I can mess that up a bit. It seems like some weird fusion between arcane technique and engineering, so that'll be...
Now, assuming that most of what we are going to face on this island is undead, I do want to let you know that I do have the ability to sort of, you've seen me do it.
Mhm.
I can turn them, so to speak. It's a vague, it's a blanket term, but some of them are destroyed, some of them are greatly affected into fleeing or to disengaging from a battle. But I can only do that twice right now. So I
Okay.
cannot do it freely. I need to decide when is a good time, and assuming that this place is crawling with the undead, I am going to try and pick the optimal times if I can, assuming that we're not in immense danger. Just want you to know it's not something I can do very often.
That sounds good. Well, we have other resources available to us
Of
before
course.
we have to resort to that. So it's good to know. All right. How do we want to? How do we want to approach? Do we want? Should I scout ahead, see what's what, and let you guys know? Like, have you guys follow a little bit behind? Let you guys know where's safe, where is, if there's any traps, things of that nature.
I don't see why not, as long as we stay within speaking distance.
Yep, within earring range. All right.
Range.
So, yeah, I guess I like head into the shadows.
Okay.
That's a
Then
16 plus.
It's 28.
Okay. 16 plus 13. No, 16
Oh,
plus 13 is
29.
29.
I didn't know it was.
I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
And then I scout ahead. I guess like watching out for traps and
Sure.
things like that.
As you exit the cove, you find yourself at the outer edges of what looked to be a dirt road, and you keep as quietly as you can to the rocky outcroppings. Across from you is the interior of this strange coral jungle that dominates the majority of the island. As you are moving quietly along this dirt path, something catches your eye at your feet. The terrain itself, this dirt, looks kind of muddy, which makes sense if this was an island that rose from the sea. But there are areas where the dirt and the mud are thinner. And underneath is not more brown dirt. You see what looks to be sort of like a slick purple surface.
What?
Hey, does anyone have an empty vial?
Do we have that?
You're not. Oh yeah.
Earring
Right.
range.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
carrying any.
Let me check my inventory. I don't think so though.
I have plenty of bottles of shit. I can pour something out.
Pour one out.
Poor
It doesn't
one.
look like a liquid or anything.
Oh.
It looks. It's. Well, you haven't touched it, so.
I'm gonna like walk up to this to like just the edge of where it is,
Okay.
and like,
It's just a small divot in the path.
is there like a
It's like some of the mud has been washed away from the path, and this is what's underneath it.
If there's probably no sticks. Is there like a coral stick?
Yeah, you could find like a piece of coral and poke it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that, and it seems solid.
It doesn't like coat the coral at all on
No.
the end.
Seems a bit slimy, but other than that,
Does it seem like it gives it all, or is it like more like rock?
it gives a little bit. It's
What'd you find,
malleable a
Dylan?
little bit.
This weird purple, squishy, slimy stuff. It's right
Oh.
under the mud. Like if I scrape away a bit of mud, like
Oh.
somewhere else.
Yes, you
is
find
there
more
more
of
of
it. Yeah,
Roscoe,
Well,
can
okay.
you dig?
it's probably about a foot. Yeah, so Roscoe starts digging, and about a foot down, after clearing away about a foot of the mud, you find this slick-looking purple surface.
I'm gonna poke it.
Maybe
It
we
feels
shouldn't.
it feels slimy. Feels like touching a fish.
What is it that you all say? Yikes!
Do they not say yikes on the islands? I
It is
said
not as
here.
common.
I think you're doing this
deep.
as. I think you're doing this for humor now, Goff.
Doing what?
Not understanding things. for a joke. And, hello? I look around.
Goff's just looking at you. If no,
He's getting there.
By the way, as you're clearing off the dirt and you see this slick surface, it does start to emit like just a really pungent fishy smell.
are we on the back of something?
This does not give me a good feeling.
That's not a good. I don't.
Who is the
I'm-
person that saw the eyeball underwater with me? There was someone else. It was Ellen, right? Was it Ellen? Or was it
I think it
Horace?
was
I
Ellen.
can't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Ellen, do you think this could be what had that giant eye underwater? I'm just asking Ellen into the earring. Hello?
Hello?
Melon.
Oh my god, did Mel just have to leave?
Sorry.
Oh, you're here. Okay.
What just happened?
Goff asked if you thought that this had anything to do with that big eyeball we both saw when we were in the underwater facility.
Oh,
Remember that when we were
God, I
underwater we
hope
saw the
not.
big eye in the
I hope
water?
not.
Make an intelligence check, Ellen.
Eh, 17 plus. This is just straight intelligence.
Straight
17
intelligence.
plus 4, 21.
You don't think so. Mostly because the Lonely Island rose up a couple of weeks back, and you saw that eyeball underwater like maybe a week ago.
Okay. I do probably not. The Lonely Island was all the way up by the time we saw the eyeball. Apparently, I guess it had been up like a couple weeks by the time, like according to Jirok and all of the and everybody.
Fair, I did not consider that.
I'm gonna kneel
Right.
down and I'm gonna take out one of my daggers and I'm just gonna like
I
You gonna stab it?
I'm gonna make a slice.
I don't know.
All right, make
we're
an
trying.
attack roll.
Okay.
I think.
Do
Oh
it.
dear, we're trying to get. We need to get rid of this turret. Maybe we should stab it after that.
Well,
Mm. Your dagger grazes off the slimy exterior. You actually kind of prick your hand a little bit on the dagger point,
well,
on the side of the dagger.
that didn't
Draw a
really
little
work.
blood.
Sizzle, as curious as I am, I think we should deal with the disintegration cannon before we do anything that could do. Who knows? If this is some kind of creature, the back of a creature of some kind, I don't want it to start shifting before we've.
Fair enough. I sheathe the dagger.
I appreciate
Alan.
your consideration.
Ellen, I need you, as you're continuing along, to make a perception check. Alan?
Oh God.
Melon.
I think his family's harassing him.
God damn it. Alright. Was there anything anyone else wishes to do in the meantime?
Goff takes a little bandage and wraps Sissel's finger
Oh.
when she cut herself on her own knife.
Well, you didn't have to do that. I was just willing to, let it heal. But thanks.
Well, he is
Not much else to
the.
do.
He's the healer. What he
Yeah.
does. Eh.
Trying to. I don't know if there's anything else I can really do.
I'm just looking up and down the beach and kind of keeping an eye out for
I don't actually know what's happening.
anything.
We're on the island.
We're on the island. We got
Oh,
Past
you're
the
back.
cannon. Oh,
Ellen,
yeah.
as you're continuing along, make a perception check.
I'm rolling a lot of natural 17s today.
Hot diggity.
Perception 17 plus 8 is 25. 25.
Wow. Okay. So, Ellen, as you're continuing along, putting this weird purple thing that you found aside, you hear some voices. And as you look toward the beach, you see a rocky outcropping that seems to stick out into the water. And you notice a couple of men sitting there. They're sitting with their legs over the side of the rock. They're looking out toward the ocean. One appears to be a dwarven man. The other appears to be human. And they both appear to have fishing poles in their hands, and they are fishing. and you can hear them talking to one another, although at this distance you can't quite make out what they're saying.
Can I sneak a little closer?
Give me another stealth roll.
That is 18 plus.
Fuck's sake, dude.
God.
31. It's fine, dude. Okay. So as you're getting closer, you hear the two men talking, and it starts with the. As you get into range, it actually you pick up part of the conversation as the human man is talking to the dwarf. He says, "Well, it looks like the Arcadians are getting close." The other guy says, they can't get much closer. One of the cannons will blast them out of the waters. We're safe." "Oh, I hope so. Been here for weeks. How much longer do we have to be out here anyway? I hate being on this thing. It sounds at night." Word is from the boss. Ordered this one. Said the key needed testing. Something about raising an army. "Hey, you ever met the boss?" "What, the Grand Master?" "Nah, no one's ever seen him. They're real reclusive. But I heard a rumor there's someone high up in the government." "Huh.
Oh god.
No kidding. What, like the Chancellor or something?" "I don't know, maybe. Could explain why they wanted Stormoke out of the way. Anyway, it means they're real busy. Too busy for the likes of us. That's why they brought in old Skullbrain." "Can't believe we're taking orders from that guy. What a jackass."
Skull.
"Yeah, well, word is the key was sunk near his body when they found it. Guess they figured he knew something about the Goliath, so he'd be worth keeping around for now. But once the Grand Master gives the word, they'll probably get rid of him too." "Good. Hope it's soon. Can't stand that guy's cackling anymore. Glad he sticks to the ziggurat mostly."
Oh boy,
Yeah.
a ziggurat. Sorry.
"Yeah.
It's like World of Warcraft.
Hey, wanna head back? Nothing's biting anyway." "Yeah, alright." And they start packing their things up.
What do these guys look like again? I missed the description.
One's a dwarven man and the other's a human man.
Do they have?
They're
they
not
look like-
wearing red, are
they're
they?
like
No,
Harbingers?
but what you do notice as they're packing up, they put their fishing poles down on the side of the rock and they stand up, and you do notice them pick up what look to be a couple of red robes from the side
Okay,
of
yeah.
the and don them.
I
And-
mean, talks about something called the Grand Master sounds pretty much like the fucking Harbingers, but I just wanted to clarify.
Shall we
Yeah.
gather for whiskey and cigars day?
Jesus Christ.
so you see them don their red robes once more, and with fishing poles over their arms, they begin heading back out toward the road to make their way back toward. It looks to be in the direction of the camp that you want to go to.
The one that has the near the cannon?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
only Ellen heard all that so far. We don't have
I'm just gonna whisper, well, there's a dwarven man and a human man here. And I just heard a lovely conversation about a mysterious grandmaster and then I'm gonna sort of relay all of that.
Okay.
Grand Master.
So there's someone in Arcadia we cannot trust.
A lot of
Someone
people in
higher.
Arcadia we can't trust.
Well, I know
I'm
that.
really hoping it isn't Arthur Beaumont.
be a far guess.
I hate
Remember Emmett Beaumont's father? Emmett was the very first. He was how we met.
Who? Mido's just like genuinely confused. Oh,
We were
that
there
guy.
for that.
That guy.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I have a thought.
that's so long ago. I don't know.
What's
It
What
was
are you
long
thinking?
ago. Ah,
what are you thinking?
That's not very pleasant.
definitely
think-
not. Well, they need the key here for testing, they said. So, that's one good thing. It's being guarded right now from our doppelgangers by some more people with questionable intent. Well, not even questionable, just bad intent.
Where's my
So-
doppelganger? I'm ready to punch her.
Oh, please do. So,
Alan, at this point, the two patrolling Crimson cultists have moved through the forest, and they're out of sight at this point. They've rounded a bend.
okay. All right. They're out of sight now, so
Mhm.
I'd say it's safe to come forward a little bit more as I continue patrolling further up.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Okay, so as you all move to reconvene with Alan, I need you all to make stealth checks. You thought you were getting away from that?
Okay.
Well,
Alright. I put my hood up so I can pretend to be more stealthy.
mine's already not great.
10,
I just
15.
15,
12.
12.
Clang, 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 clang.
You guys can't make fun of me. I do all the damage. Not all of it, but a lot of it.
Might shush.
You want to carry my plate armor for me, huh?
I will if I have to.
See, I put my hood on. I'm trying to be sneaky.
Okay, so you all eventually make your way up the dirt road and reconvene with Alan.
Ellen
fortunately-
here is just like clanging as
Yeah,
she,
Ellen,
as
you
they-
hear them. You hear them coming from a mile away, and but fortunately, it doesn't seem like there are any other cultists nearby. They seem to be at the camp up ahead.
Okay, the
You might
camp.
still be out of range of that.
All right, I'm just gonna say the camp is up ahead. There's probably going to be a lot of them, a lot of cultists up there. But our main goal is the cannon.
Yes. And sounds like there are much more dangerous foes in what which we can all assume, so we should not expend too much of our resources before we get there.
No, that would be bad.
And it's probably for the best that we don't alert them until we have a sizable backup force. So try to not let any of them alert others, I suppose, if possible.
Well, I'll do my best, but
Yo, Snake, sneak that shit. Okay.
okay.
But there's no telling what will happen.
So, what do you wish to do? Hello.
I don't know, I'm
What do you as a group wish to do at this point? You are still maybe a couple hundred feet out away from the camp. You can see the smoke from what looks to be chimneys in the distance.
in the camp.
Yeah, they look like they're coming from those shacks that Ellen saw on the beaches.
How do we want to go about this?
Well, I obviously don't know how to do this stealth stuff, so
Maybe. I mean. Walking in would be inadvisable.
well, I'll just tackle them all down if you want to do that. Just let me know.
We should probably expend as little as energy as possible.
Yes.
I'll just distract him again. You know.
Energy.
could.
I have infinite energy, okay?
We need to get rid of them as quickly as possible. So, however that would happen. I know some of us can't be very quiet. So I don't think we could all get up there carefully without being noticed.
So perhaps
Is that one? Sorry.
Perhaps a distraction or something to draw them,
Oh,
reinforce
neat.
them away.
That's all I'm good at.
Will you be able,
Whoa.
I mean, what happens once we are no longer in need of a distraction? I mean, we're
Light
going in to
people
disable
up.
the cannon, right?
Yeah. Is Mel still here?
Mel
I haven't heard Mel in a while. I figured that Ellen would be
Nope.
saying stuff, so I guess that he's
probably
been.
is not here again.
Does anyone have? Okay, I'm trying to think. Does anyone have a red cloak that we could, or robes or anything that we could try and trick them with? Just to the party.
I don't
could,
think we've
I
kept
could
any.
disguise self, but I don't know about you guys.
Does disguise self change your clothes?
Yep, it can.
Oh. Oh, that's different from what I have. What I have is alter self. I mean, that could work.
The part of the problem right now is that our lead scout is not present, and she's also, Mel / Ellen is also one of the strategy minds and good at initiating this stuff. So it's going to be difficult.
I mean, I have a little bit of a trump card, assuming we get into a situation that requires talking. But also, that kind of hinges on it working.
Well, I'm good at distractions. You all know that. So, I'm good at distractions. I'm good at fighting people, and that's all I have going for me. So, please keep that in consideration.
I always am.
Damn.
No, I am sorry. I mean, I just know that it is your strengths. I'm not very good at this kind of thing. I'm not good at covert. What we're trying to do.
We need to distract. Okay. So we're going in to disable a cannon, but we need to. There are people in the way. Correct. That's
Yeah.
the gist of the situation.
How many do we know?
You do not.
Here's where Alan would come in handy if Mel was here.
I mean,
uh,
if you...
I could always have Ellen go scout because I assume that's what Mel would do.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say that Ellen volunteers to
Just-
go scout.
To see see in more detail what we've got going on in the camp.
Yeah.
So what I'll say is that Ellen will attempt to stealth up, and once she sees what she sees, she'll relay it all to you over the earring.
Okay.
Attempt. Air
Yeah,
quote.
attempt as in succeed because she rolled a 28. Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I was.
Oh.
They were discussing scouting the camp, and you weren't there, so I
Yeah,
just stealth for you.
that's okay.
Because I assumed that Ellen would
I-
go scout the camp.
Ellen would go scout the camp.
Okay. All right. So,
Sorry, it was hard. We were having this whole discussion about what
Sorry.
to do, and our main scout, / strategist, was just not here. I was like,
I know,
don't
I'm sorry. It's just
It's okay.
bad.
Okay, so, Ellen, as you make your way into the shadows of the coral jungle, you approach the camp and you come out onto what looks to be an open clearing, and you stay very you try to blend in with your surroundings. It's a little difficult because there's not a lot of deep greens like in a typical jungle. It's all luminescent colors, reds and blues and purples that you might see underwater. Nonetheless, you manage to find some good shadows to stick to, and what you see is this open clearing of sandy white beach strewn with small pools of clear water. And there are ramshackle dwellings sprawling across the sands with small tables outside where you spy a number of cultists either eating meals or playing cards or talking. In the center of this clearing stretches a series of rickety-looking planks across the pools, buttressed by high log barricades. And at the end of this barricade, facing toward the water, you see a tremendous metallic construct that stands out against the rest of the makeshift construction. The device is 15 feet tall, resembling a cannon in outward appearance, but with angular, sharp corners. The metal itself is smooth, dark obsidian lined with glowing green runes, and as you watch, The cannon emits a low humming sound, and then with a deafening thunder, blasts forth another pale green beam of disintegration magic that roars into the distance and kicks up another explosion near the edge of the fleets.
Now that I'm closer, do
A
I
cheer-
get to see if there are moving parts?
It appears to be a solid construction.
Bonks.
The only moving parts appear to be the gears that will adjust it left and right. Although what you do notice is that after it finishes firing, there's a hiss of steam as a bunch of steam extrudes out of what look to be vents on the side of it.
Oh.
As this finishes firing, a cheer goes up from the cultists, which you spy maybe about... Give me a moment, I can give you an actual number.
I wonder if those fill up with mayonnaise, will they still work?
You can't see everyone because there may be some people within that barricade construction. It looks like it sort of funnels people into a single line hallway, essentially. But for the people that you can see on the beach, you can make out about 6 cultists in red robes. You also spot what look to be a couple of Goliath revenants that are blocking the entry ramps up onto this construction where the cannon is sitting. And then after a moment you hear this labored breathing, and this terrible creature, roughly humanoid in shape, but over 10 feet tall, naked, with its musculature on the outside, shambles into view from the barricade. It inhales sharply as if it's struggling to breathe, and you see a beating heart on the exterior of its chest.
Ugh.
Its hands are a pair of sharp, deadly-looking claws, and one of them rakes across the wooden logs, leaving marks as it shears the splintering bark from them. And occasionally, as it's patrolling the beach, you see it kind of twitch and spasm, as if it can't really control its own form.
Hmm. There's a gross muscle boy.
Oh, like just a really
No,
buff dude, or
Not the hard kind.
It reminds you a lot of the flesh golem you once fought a long time ago in the graveyard, although this seems a lot different in some ways.
Like, think flesh golem, but like,
I try not to.
but more ew, if you can.
I can't imagine more of you than they already are.
great.
Also claws, very sharp.
Is it close to the camp?
Patrolling the camp.
Great.
Is it looking like a guard? Like, is it?
It looks like a construct that has been designed to patrol these the beaches.
Patrolling the beaches. Sorry, not the camp.
Hmm.
Also, 6 cultists, 2 Goliath revenants, a single file pathway to the cannon. It seems like there's also a barricade. There may be more people in the barricade, like behind the barricade. Were there barracks?
There are a number of shacks along the beach. You're not sure if there's anybody inside them.
Okay, and there's shacks around the beach. I can't tell you if there's anyone inside those. So,
The revenants in that golem make this much more difficult.
definitely.
Fighting them all would be a bad idea.
It would. It would be too costly on our strength.
We don't want to alert them, but we also definitely need that thing taken out.
Is there a weakness that you spot?
Okay, there are no moving parts that we can jam, but I did see that there are vents for some sort of steam on the sides of the cannon. I hope if we block them up, it definitely needs to let out heat or it will overheat and hopefully something bad will happen to it. So,
Does it look like there's a control system for it?
I can't tell. I didn't see like a control system, did I?
You can't see it from this angle. If there is one, it's being obscured by the log-high barricades that are sort of blocking this entire construction.
Okay. Well, I can't really see. There's barricades.
We need to get.
I
We need,
think. I think. Do we have anything that might be able to block up the those what's it called? Those vents? Anything to stop the steam from escaping.
well, I have that jug.
Do we
Could
want to
make-
fill them with mayonnaise?
I think you might end up with just hot mayonnaise.
Oh, that's
We
true.
make oil and honey vinegar, and I don't know if any of it's thick enough. You have your moss arrows that you obtained.
That I do, but those don't really. Moss doesn't really stand up to extreme heat very well.
Goff, you can't block it up with dirt or anything in a relatively reasonable time, could you?
Not. I don't think I could do anything with dirt. I could plant growth. I could tangle it up in vines.
Is coral a plant?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think they're colonies of
technically-
microorganisms.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah.
So no.
They're in fact animals.
Yeah.
Are they
Well,
are they animals?
Yeah, they're classified as animals.
if Ellen, if a source of plant life is created, I can. If Ellen used a moss
Okay,
arrow,
so
if there was some
Ellen
kind
can
of
use
grass,
a moss arrow. Yeah.
I
don't
could
think there's
use, I
grass
could use the
here.
moss to do something. I don't know if I could block the vents up or not. I could try, but the heat
Yeah.
might.
If I could get close enough, maybe I could see if I can find a way to disable it magically.
I
Maybe.
can also
What would
close
happen, do
enough,
you
and
think?
if I have a certain piece of it, I can heat it up. But not sure if that will cause it to catastrophically melt down or not.
Actually, Cecil, if it happened to fire while you were near it, invisible
never
with a
mind.
wall of force around it, like right around the vents, just like
I think that might destroy the wall of force, though.
no,
I don't know if it would
not
rebound.
the wall of force won't be blocking the front of the cannon. The wall of force would be sort of wrapped around the cannon, and like just wrapped around it, so it's blocking the vents and only the vents. Is that possible?
Mm,
Would I know if air would penetrate
yeah.
a wall of force?
Like hot air, like steam.
I'm looking it up.
that's
Here.
interesting.
Yeah,
Can air pass
I
through
mean,
a wall of force?
because I know
I
that
mean,
I know we've got
you
here
can
ice
speak
cube,
through it.
but-
I'm gonna
I feel like it wouldn't.
rule no. Gaseous creatures can't pass through it. Which means air can't pass through it.
Okay, that'll be good to know in the future. All right, that is a potential. And how big
Because-
does the cannon look?
It's about 15 feet tall, but the vents are arrayed across like a. There seems to be like some on the top and then some on the sides of this kind of square construction, and each of them seem to be taking up like a 10 by 10 area.
Would
Okay.
she be able to like manipulate the wall force so that it covers them all?
I can create a sphere with a radius of up to 10 feet, so it'd be 20 feet in diameter.
Does the wall of force have to be unobstructed?
Does it
or
have
can
to
it, can it
be-
go through things?
Does it have to be a perfect sphere? Like, can you leave an opening in the front?
Not really. You can't like have angles on the wall of force unless it's in the spherical shape. And I think when you do it in the spherical shape, anything that cuts it off. Hold on, I'm looking this up. Nothing now. I don't think each panel has to be contiguous. So if like something's going to cut it off, I don't think the wall of force will form.
I can also I can shape. Oh, it's a flat surface. Never mind. I can't.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was a good idea.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like all the tools we have.
Yeah, the cube of force isn't going to help either because I think the cube would have to be in there.
No, I don't want to stick the cube in there.
No, we won't get it out again.
No, we'll never get that cube back.
I like that cube. It's a good
I
cube.
also like.
Hmm. The vents are 10 by 10 each.
They're over a 10 by 10 surface. So it's not
Oh,
like the.
okay.
there's
So they're like
there's like little embankments basically.
okay. So they're like little slits in a
Yes.
10 by 10 surface.
Are they all on the
Okay.
same surface?
No, there's one on the top of the cannon, and then there appear to be some on one side that Ellen is facing, and you can assume that there's probably some on the other side.
So it's not all one flat wall. It's like
Correct.
Hmm. And there could be someone controlling it. It could be as simple as, I mean, we don't know that though, because it could be as simple as just getting people off the control panel.
Yeah, I mean,
There
I
is
could
one.
turn invisible. I could turn invisible and then fly close and see if I can't see a control panel, but it's risky.
We need a way to draw away those revenants and then to go.
I could have a anti-magic thing up. Remember the last time you tried to magic into some place?
Would they?
Possible.
But wait, if an anti-magic field was up, then wouldn't that make the cannon not work?
Possibly.
It is. It does look arcane. It looks arcane to me, at least. It looks arcane to me, right?
Yep, it does.
Okay.
I mean, if we wanted to stage a distraction, we could have you guys.
We do have goths that.
Have me what?
Uh. No!
These horns are how I feel trying to solve this fucking puzzle.
Again, I can't. I can't. Listen, I hate this fucking song so much. It haunted me when I played WoW, and now it's back
all right,
again.
I can fix it. Here, I skipped it.
Oh man. Oh god. What I was suggesting before got distracted by horns. Like you could disguise yourself as one of the harbingers. Maybe.
I could. Let's see.
I just don't feel super great about any plan involving one person by themselves, surrounded by that.
No.
Definitely
Yeah, it
not.
would go well until they need some kind of passwords, and I wouldn't have it.
Well, we do have a lot more
Oh.
information about them. If I like, no, I can't. No. Actually, I don't know if what's it called? If say Sissel. Oh wait, no. Does it look like vents on the three sides? Like 3 sides of the cannon have vents?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, bollocks. I was gonna be like, Sissel can wall force one side and Hiraeth can be on the other side with like her cube. But no, that leaves one side open.
How far away from the water's edge is this cannon?
The cannon's right on the water's edge. It seems to have been placed on sort of like a platform overlooking it.
What's
So
the
the
platform on it made of?
It looks to be iron struts that are sticking right up out of the water.
Bollocks.
So the camp itself is right next to the water.
Yes.
It's on the shore in the sand. Where are we? What's our elevation in comparison to that? The camp.
The camp is probably a little lower in elevation. It's closer on the beach. The beach slopes down toward the water. Whereas, but the cannon itself is held out on these struts. It's probably a good 20 feet above the water.
I can control water, and I could flood the camp, maybe.
That'd be fun.
But I don't know what that would do. I don't know if that would really... I mean, it would definitely fuck them. It would probably displace a lot of them.
It would displace, I think, the Harbingers, and maybe the Revenants.
The Revenants would... They're not affected much by the water, if you remember.
Oh, I remember now.
And that golem, I imagine, wouldn't be much different.
But it would take away the... I was about to say the ads. The way too much Final Fantasy. But it would take away the small, the ones with the insect bites.
I don't think I would kill them. They would just displace them.
It would be a good distraction, though. If one of us were
It
to try
would-
and find the control panel on the cannon.
The Revenants couldn't swim, right? They just walked along
They just
water.
walked along the surface. Yeah.
Whoa. The water level is raised. The Revenants will not float. They could be... someone could be above them, and they would not be able to get at them. The Golem... I'm not sure. But that could eliminate that problem.
Is the golem tall?
He's about 10 feet tall.
Tall
Well
and
under.
off. So very...
He's a big boy.
It's a tall one.
I mean, even if he's 10 feet tall, I can raise the water up 20 feet
Okay.
from
okay.
where it is. So it would not be... If it also was grounded, which we don't know if it would be or not, we don't know if it would float. We were just saying if it didn't float, it would not... Oh, even if it is swimming, it would still be hindered by the water.
Yeah, it would be difficult terrain.
If
So basically, I could create difficult terrain for everyone in the camp.
and also possibly drown a couple boys.
Sure. Yes.
How
So
how much can the water move?
What do you mean?
Like, how much water can you move in one turn? Like, it looks like you can affect a 20
lot.
foot area.
No, that's how high up it can go. I can affect
side
a
of the area to the other,
100
okay.
foot cube. 100 foot space, like 100 feet on a side.
So you could create a 20 foot tall tidal wave that just basically crashes against the camp. Is what you're speculating.
Or a...
I think he was talking about just straight up raising the
Okay,
water
so
level.
flood. You cause the water level, all standing water, and the area to rise by as much as 20
Right.
feet. If the area includes a shore, the flooding water spills up over into dry land.
If you choose an area that has a large body of water, you can instead create a 20 foot tall
Instead.
wave.
It's a choice.
Okay.
Oh no. Well, yeah, but I'm including a shore in this. If the area includes a shore, the flooding
Okay,
water
so
spills
it's-
over into dry
right.
land.
Right. Okay.
If it's just open water, then it's
Yeah, right, so you would raise all the water in this camp by 20 feet, essentially, and drown everybody.
Yeah.
I see.
or I would displace them and put them in difficult terrain.
Mhm.
That would mean that we could also not be in that space without being difficult.
I would
terrain
say
unless-
that because of, well, you can't see it because you haven't seen it, but
I'm going off of
only
Ellen's
Ellen is
directions.
actually, yeah.
I'm
But
going off what Ellen's described. I'm just suggesting.
essentially, the description would be: is if you were to try to raise the water level of the standing pools in the area and the shore by 20 feet, it would probably submerge a majority of the camp except for the top of,
Cannon.
like 10 feet of the top of the cannon. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, so it would actually partially submerge the cannon?
A little bit.
let's
So
do it.
water could block some of the vents, right?
No, because the vents are up top.
Oh, I thought some of the vents were down low.
Nope.
All right. Okay.
But it would completely submerge the entire barricade, all the shacks on the shore, and everybody there.
Okay. Oh, by the way, quick side note, Alex. We discussed what to do with the water walking ring. You weren't here, and that's a non-attunement item. Did you want to? Did you want to wear that? I took it because I don't have any sort of like Mido has the cloak of the manta ray, which we're finally giving to somebody, and then we were trying to decide who should have the water walking ring because like Sissel can fly and
Alan will be able to.
Alan
fly
and
in
Roscoe are
2
agile,
hours.
can swim pretty well. I was trying to decide like I figured since you could like dimension door if you're in trouble, you could probably just get out of it, but
Yeah. I don't think Hurai swims very well, but she can just polymorph into something that can, so.
okay. I just wanted to offer it to you in case you felt like it was something you could use take advantage
that's
of.
fine. That's
Okay. Well, but plus it's not attunement, so if we really need to, we could like swap the item between people if someone needs it for something. Okay.
Go off skipping
well-
on the waves.
Based on what you've described, I could flood the camp. I could disable sources of light. I could make the revenants submerged. I suppose the golem could also remain rooted to the floor of the sea. I don't know how that creature works. The harbingers would be displaced if not struggling to stay afloat. It could give us an advantage to disable the cannon.
That sounds good to me.
But I would need to maintain concentration and have a visual of the area. So I would need to get close enough to see it and hold it. My range that I can use it from is roughly 300 feet.
You're actually 300 feet away from this place.
But I can't see it, right?
Yeah, you can't see it.
Well,
Well, it says in an area of you choose. Yeah, it doesn't specify actually being able to see it, but I guess you would need to.
I would need
Have
at least
some
have a
idea.
little bit of a visual, even if I'm really far away. So just like
Right.
the first glance I can get of the space.
Okay.
Okay, so you can do that. What do we do about the vents when I've done that? It'll give us I can, as long as they don't find me. I can hold it as long as I can hold it for as long as 10 minutes.
I
So
don't
it
think
won't-
the jar will give us enough honey or mayonnaise or whatever to block all of the vents.
Well, yeah, I don't.
And
It's
does
only
plant
usually a
growth
gallon.
require concentration?
What's that?
Does plant growth require concentration?
No, it's an instant cast. But that would require me casting 2 spells, and I'd have to be closer to cast plant growth. I'd have to be 150 feet, apparently. I thought that was a lot shorter. Spell channels. There are 2 possible uses. Okay, because it's only one action, which is all normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown.
Thick.
There needs to be a plant.
Yeah.
And I don't think there are any that I can use.
The moment that you raise the water level, I can fire a moss arrow, and you can use
How much
that.
surface does the moss arrow create?
Good question.
I
Would
think
it- would a
I
one
have
would-
it written down.
Would
Yeah,
one
I-
moss
I-
arrow would cover all the vents?
Depends on how much radius it gives.
Bollocks! I wrote plus 10 stealth. Ugh!
What?
I just wrote plus 10 stealth because that's what that's.
I think it was
what
like
Oh.
I think it was like a 20-foot cube, if I recall correctly. I
Square,
think
probably.
I think it could be like any kind of pattern you want, as long as it's like 20 square feet. If that makes sense, I don't know.
Okay. Well,
It could be in a long rectangular path. It could be.
yeah.
But although I would say probably just firing a single one, you could, because it's on multiple sides. You'd only probably be able to hit it on one side.
Cecil, do you think I could hitch a ride and we'll on the broom, and then I can fire 3 moss arrows?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to turn us both invisible?
I think that would be good.
I think it would be a pretty good idea.
I don't think you can turn broom invisible though.
Didn't we talk about
Can you?
that last time?
Okay, well, I do want to point out that in the scenario that we're creating, being invisible won't mean a whole lot because all the people that could be dealing with you are either submerged underwater or will be trying to stay afloat in the water and won't be able to do a lot.
Well, yeah, but if we decide to like float over there like preemptively, cause
Oh, you're doing
I
it preemptively.
I
Okay.
mean, just to get ready, because I also
Well,
want to see if
Ellen's
there's,
got
like-
sharpshooter, right? So you don't need to be
Ye-
very close to
Well,
it.
also,
Yeah.
if in the event that the MOS doesn't work, I want to see if there's a control panel.
Okay.
But,
All right. So let me know what you want to do.
all right.
If
Goth, do you
There's-
want to come up here? Goth and maybe Sissel, do you two want to come up here and see? It's because you two
Yeah.
should. Goth definitely needs to see
I
the
just
lay of the land.
need to be close enough to see the camp. I
Mhm.
don't want to be too close. I need to be able to not be interrupted.
All right. I'm gonna like scout for a good spot for him to see that.
You can give me an investigation check.
Very well. That's a cans. That's 15 plus 15 plus.
It's okay. This is fine.
15 plus, so that's a 27.
27. Okay. As you're looking across the edges of the beach with the clearing, you do notice that there appears to be a raised cliff on the western side of the camp. So you could probably get a good overlook of the entire beach from that location.
Okay, there appears.
It's approximately maybe 30 to 5 to 40 feet up from the beach itself. So it's looking over it basically, and the coral jungle goes right up until the edge of the cliff. So it's not like you'd be in.
It's not like we'd be like
Staying out in the-
Lion King, Pride Rock.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's a cliff with coral jungle right up to the edge. Just to the west of the camp, looks about 40 feet up from where the beach is. We can go there to get the lay of the land. I'll meet you guys there.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna get on the broom and float
Okay.
right away.
All right. What about Goff? What are you doing? Are you going on foot?
I have to. Yeah.
Okay. So I need the two of you or whoever else is coming to make stealth checks.
I'm going.
I mean,
there.
are we? So we have Sissel and Ellen are going to use the broom and do something up there. I'm going to cast a spell from on the cliff. What is Mido, Haraith, and Roscoe doing? Are they going to be with
Roscoe's
me?
basically going to be with you in order to protect you in case
Okay.
anything goes wrong.
Oh.
Okay.
I rolled a 3, so
are-
that's a 23.
Are Mido and Haraith going to be up there also with me, or I'm just curious where the rest of the party's going to be, so I know for my own strategy.
Oh, with you.
How far, like, because basically I'm thinking on one hand it's like one less stealth roll, but on the other I don't want to be so far away that I wouldn't be able to help.
You'd be about 100 feet away.
I also-
I'm
Sorry.
Let's do it.
And the water the water around the camp is going to be 20 feet from sea level, so you also don't want to be too low altitude because it's going to affect you if you're close.
Well, it'll only affect you if you're in the camp. Here, why don't I bring you to the potential battle map? So,
We're like avoiding fighting as much as we can.
Well, yeah, because it's going to be really bad if we have to use a bunch of spells and shit.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Better that we use one or two and then other than a bunch.
So I'm gonna tentatively put you guys on the screen. You're kind of off the screen right now, but for the
Right.
sake of this, oh, that didn't work. Hold on, it didn't get everybody. Some people got dragged off screen. Where's everybody else?
Rip.
Oh god, that thing looks so nasty.
Yeah,
Flesh Guardian.
yeah, all about the flesh. Goff, you'd be up on a cliff, like over here somewhere off screen.
Yeah.
with Roscoe. Ellen and Cicely, you'd be together. Hiraeth and Mito, you can decide where you'd be. But essentially, right now, the two of you, Hiraeth and Mito, are about 100 feet away from this whole scene. The camp itself is only like 100 feet long and like 75 feet wide. And it's got all these standing pools of water that essentially, if you raise all this up, it's going to flood the entire camp.
You raise me up.
Yeah, I'd like to be with Goff, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go along too.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm
I
gonna need.
think-
I'm gonna
I
need.
think all of us are meeting at the cliff, so we
Okay.
can.
So
Like,
y'all need to make stealth rolls. Every single one of you.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 3, so that's a 23.
What the fuck ever?
Oh my
Shut
God.
Reliable
Fuck
talent is such
off.
bullshit.
Okay, guys.
Fuck
Okay, hang on. I
you.
need absolute silence for this roll. Ah, it's not
That's
bad.
not horrible.
Oh, that's okay.
It's pretty good. I rolled 15.
Okay. So we got 19, 12, 18, 17, 15. No, wait. 19, 12, 18, 15, 17, 23. 23. You rolled the lowest of everybody. You got a 23 because of your reliable talent bullshit.
Fuck you. I love you.
Okay.
Actually, from up here, can we see over the barricades?
Yes. You can from this elevation. You do see there appears to be a couple more guys in here, as well as what looks to be some control panels. There's nobody manning it right now, but I mean, this guy should be over here manning it. So there do appear to be some controls, and he seemed to be fiddling with it. It does not appear that anyone has noticed you.
Good.
Does not appear.
Everyone's kind of milling about doing their own thing. These guys all seem relaxed. There's a couple people kind of like chilling, playing cards or talking, sitting at some tables.
Hey, okay. I think once we get the plant growth going, I think Mito, since you have the cloak of water breathing, and does it look like the control panels will be underwater?
No.
Oh, no?
No.
Okay. So, never mind. Sorry, Mito.
Actually, no. It would be. It would be.
So, yes, Mito. So, Mito, since the control panels look like it's going to be underwater once Goff raises the water level. So, once Goff gets the whole, what's it called? Once Goff gets the whole, like, plant growth thing going with the vents, and the moss, do you think you could swim down there and just smash the fire button, see if we can't overload the system? And just like point it straight up or something so it fires into nothingness.
Mito, Lauren.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I was asking if you...
No, you said I could go to the switch. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That last part. Yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
If we less spells I can cast, the better. I don't need to use plant growth. It would be ideal. I'm running. I am
That's
worried
true.
about what's to come. I am sorry. I will do it if we need to. We need to get those boats. We can do. If the moss alone is enough. There's something else.
Would... how much steam was, like, coming out of the vents after the firing?
As you watch, you do see the Harbingers at the controls fire off another massive pale energy beam. And after it finishes firing, there's a tremendous hiss and escape of steam that looks to be just a voluminous cloud of steam that it escapes off the top of this machine, and dissipates into the air. It looks like a fairly large amount.
So, like, from what we're seeing, like, just like the thin moss covering probably won't hold up.
Just a thin moss covering, no.
Like the
It would get blasted away.
yeah. Blasted like a bussy in Pride Month.
My fucking god, Marl.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
That wasn't supposed to come out of my mouth.
Are you sure?
You said
I
like
don't
a
know about
lot
that.
of words to say it though. No,
that
it's
was
fine.
I
supposed to be
don't
in my head.
believe you.
Anyway. Anyway.
Okay.
So what do you wish to do?
Okay.
Wah, wah. God damn these horns.
You think a fireball could overheat it?
A fireball, maybe. I don't know about fireballs.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Well,
And if you would have to get it into the vent, I think.
I mean,
I
the
give-
thing about the fireball is it's kind of just a whole thing.
That's true. That's true.
I give the alchemy jug to Ellen. Why don't I'm going to hold that water up as long as I can. Why don't you just try as many things as you can think of, and if nothing else will work, grow the plants. See if that will not.
Sounds good.
I have
Oh.
I have good company in case trouble approaches. So
Mm-hmm. All right. So, I hop on the broom thistle.
Okay.
Shall we?
Alright, I'm gonna turn
Well, yeah.
both
uh,
invisible.
Do we want to fire the fireball once the water rises?
I mean,
No,
I
that-
only want to really do it if it's going to work.
Oh, that's true.
because I've basically only got one use of this staff left.
Ah, that's fair. Okay.
Which
That's
is disappointing because I came up with another idea that would have been really cool, but it won't work because I've only got 8 charges.
Oh,
I'm sorry. My brain is like super foggy today. Did we say where the thing is that I have to go do? Like in these puddles?
It's over
or-
here.
There. Okay.
like once golf raises the water, you basically like swan dive, and well, once we cover up the holes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what's thicker, honey or mayonnaise? Honey, I think. Right?
Honey.
I'm sorry. I'm just okay. I like just to prepare. I whisper honey into the alchemy jug.
Oh my fucking god. You haven't used this in literally like a year. I gotta look up how much is made.
1 gallon.
1 gallon of honey.
I got it
Okay,
open.
So you pull you pull up the alchemy jug and you whisper honey into it and you just hear
That's so much fucking honey.
That's a lot of honey. Very sticky.
Okay. I think this will probably cover. We'll see how much this covers, I guess. Okay. Let's go.
Just try to put it inside. Don't put it on top. It'll just be blasted.
Yeah.
Want to try
We'll
and
we'll
gum
see
it
how
up.
much. Yeah. I don't know how much this
Before
will
we
like
go,
cover.
I have one more potential thing that could maybe happen.
Okay.
You know how if you know how have you ever like taken a hot glass and put something cold in it or vice versa and it just explodes?
Uh-huh.
I have Code of Cold. I could potentially freeze the cannon and then you could fire it and maybe
Okay.
cause some structural integrity issues. I don't know if it will work though. I think maybe
Okay.
just
I'm going to give you as much time as you need to try, as many things as you need to try.
I think it's
Okay.
really
So, order of events. Cone of cold, then the honey covering. If the honey covering isn't enough, I fire a moss arrow. Unless we have any other possibilities to block the vents with.
I don't really have any.
Actually, Hedaith, can I, just in case, can I stand at one end, or can we float at one end of the,
what the fuck is happening?
sorry, that's,
No,
It's
camp,
my
no.
brain, like, giving
Cliff?
out in the middle of a
Camp,
sentence.
cliff, camp, beach.
Um,
Room.
at one end of the cannon, at one of the vents, and just hit the cube of force. That way we can cover just one wall, one end of it, just in case we don't have enough things.
The thing about the cube of force is I have to be in there. I have to hold it to turn it on, and then the
Oh.
cube appears around me. So that's not really an option for
Bollocks.
controlling.
Bollocks. Okay.
Alex.
I hate
Okay,
this stupid fucking cannon.
Canon logistics.
this puzzle.
It's only. Sorry, I'm just gonna look up the alchemy jug again because
I'm looking at it right now. What do you need?
after the honey, I can't use it again for the rest of the day, right?
Correct. It's only
Yes.
one use per day.
Okay. Yeah.
I
So
mean, it's a gallon, which is a lot.
yeah, but there's 10.
There's like, yeah, there's like 10,
There's
3
10
10 by 10
square-
squares worth of
Yeah.
vents.
There's 30 square.
It's
feet.
not fully 30 square feet. They're like slits, so
Okay.
you could try to fill in each of them. It would take you a bit. It would take you a couple of turns to try to carefully fill it all in.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like honey
Maybe.
is viscous, but when faced with a blast of steam, I get the feeling that it's just gonna slurp
I just don't
out.
think we have enough of anything.
Yeah.
Or
I feel like our stronger choices are that the Kona cold thing and like hot versus cold, or just Mito just finding the right button to hit to make the cannon stop working.
the big red self-destruct button.
I mean, I don't know why the precursors would build something like that, but yeah, that'd be ideal. I'm sorry if
Right, what do you
we
wish
just
to do,
really
guys?
don't want to fight these guys.
I know you
I
don't,
think-
but what do you wish to do? You don't have to fight them. You can come up with some creative ideas of getting around them, but
Yeah, I
What do you
think
wish
I
to
think
do?
maybe trying to shut off the cannon might be I could just turn it back on again. Shit.
Yeah.
Not
that's
so
the problem.
easily when they'll have to go underwater to do it.
That's true. But I mean eventually they'll be able to.
Eventually, though, yeah. I'd rather not have to deal with that. Because if we can...
make some
if-
decisions, guys.
Yeah.
Well, look, dude, you gave us a difficult challenge. Let's let us figure it out.
I know,
I
but
think-
You gave us a cannon that's impenetrable because precursor shit can't be broken. So we're trying to figure it out.
Okay. How about... Actually, Hooray.
Maybe they all
If-
have like a. Sorry.
Actually, no, sorry. No, I was thinking she could stand at the thing, but no, she can't because it's like 20 feet up.
Maybe one of these guys has a destroy cannon switch.
Yeah. I mean I could massively suggest that they just, not use the cannon.
You can do that. Yeah.
I think it might be a bad idea because I think
I think
some of these guys
that's
might
when you
have
roll
some
on
pretty-
wild magic.
Huh?
no,
No.
that's a 6th level spell that Sissel has.
She can do it.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to use it yet, but
It can only affect 10 creatures though, and there's 11 people.
wait, I thought
on
it was up to 12.
Is it up to 12?
Let me take a look at the spell info.
Enough
in
book.
our book.
Next suggestion is
Player's hand.
12. Yeah, you're right. And it could
Yeah.
be, it's just creatures, so
It's a
they
wisdom
have to have a,
save.
Don't they all have to succeed though? That's the problem.
they have to understand you as well,
Yeah.
if to speak your language.
I feel
Oh.
like flesh guardians speak common.
They probably don't speak anything.
But also
speak
Flesh Guardians,
gargoyle.
I feel like
You
probably
have
won't.
to you have to understand it.
I feel like Flesh Guardians won't be operating a cannon though.
I am the Flesh Guardian, Guardian of the Flesh.
Everyone quivers before him.
Flesh Factory
I'm
quivers
like,
before
I'm
its
like,
might.
oh my god.
Sorry.
What is wrong with you? That's literally the quote from the Vine, you sickos. Jesus Christ.
I got it.
I know, but
don't
people said, "Oh no!" Like I said something really gross.
It
Okay.
is gross, but not in the way you're probably thinking. So do we wanna just try the cone of cold thing?
Look,
Let's try the cone of cold thing. Fire the cannon into the air. If that doesn't work, then we'll just kill everyone there, I guess.
Yeah! I cover my mouth because I wasn't
Alright,
trying
so
to be out of
If
stuff.
we're if Mido is gonna be operating the cannon, she's gonna have to get there.
She's got the mantle cloak. That's why I asked her to do it.
Oh
she
yeah.
can
Yes,
she can swim.
she'll have a
60
swim
feet.
speed of 60 feet.
Okay, that'll be fine then.
Faster than it's just like in real life.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we
Mido is an
wanna-
Olympic swimmer all of a
Do we
sudden.
want to do this?
Why not?
Just let me know at what point that I need to do the spell that I'm doing.
All right.
I don't actually know what point you want me to use control water because
I'm
you're
gonna
talking about all this
I'm
other
gonna
stuff.
get Ellen and I into position, and then I'll.
Okay.
We can go from there. So I'm gonna turn Ellen and Sissel invisible.
Okay.
And we're gonna, I guess, float like 30, 40 feet in the air up to like maybe. Fuck, not over there. Like hereabouts.
Okay. Did we? I think we said that the invisibility spell would cover your.
Yeah,
Room as well.
back when we were on
We were on a case.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you roll? 23 and 15 on those.
I mean,
Okay.
but that's also with stealth, right?
Yes,
Or
on stealth.
with invisible. I mean, invisibility.
Right. So it's with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So if you want it, you can re-roll.
Yeah.
I'll re-roll because I only rolled a natural 3.
Yeah.
That's a natural
Well,
17.
that's worse, so I'll keep the.
Okay. So you stick with a 15. Okay.
Natural 17 plus.
I mean, to be fair, Ellen
13
Sissel is the
is
one
30.
driving.
I
so
know.
It would really.
I
be
know,
herself
but
this one.
I just wanted to roll the
Yeah.
advantage.
Okay. So I'd say you get in range. No one seems to have noticed you or heard anything.
Alright. From here, is it easier to see, like, if there's any sort of control panel on the camera?
There is definitely a control panel. It is being. There's a number of dials and switches on it, and what look to be readouts that indicate, distance and power levels and such, so forth.
Okay.
And there is one guy manning it currently.
Goff, Mido, when you're ready.
Okay. I plant my feet and look out of the water, and I start essentially doing water bending motions, and I start pulling the water up. And
Okay.
it
Like at
rises
the-
pretty rapidly. I mean, it rises within a turn.
Is
so-
it like the finale of Last Airbender where Aang just raises like all the rivers and puts out all the fires?
I mean,
Pretty
that, but only in
much.
100-foot.
So, yeah, and within basically 6 seconds, the water level rises 20 feet. So as all of these cultists are sitting around, laughing, eating some meals, having playing cards, talking, suddenly there's a shout of panic as the water level begins rapidly rising out of the pools, and many of them stand up from their tables and kicking over some chairs, but not fast enough as the water rises above their heads, and they suddenly find themselves submerged underwater, kicking and desperately flailing and trying to get up to the surface. You don't see the Goliath revenants. They appear to be still weighted to the ground. Same with the Flesh Guardian.
Oh boy. Okay.
The Harbingers, one by one, you're starting to see a few of the cultists drenched pop their head up out of the water, looking bewildered. The entire barricade situation is submerged. Only the top,
Oh,
say 8 or so feet of the cannon is visible at this point. Everything else on this entire beach is underwater.
excellent. I've
So there's a number of I'd say at this point maybe half of the cultists have emerged, and they're kind of coughing, sputtering up water, and waiting, shouting at each other, and so forth. Okay, what do you wish to do?
Gonna call that shit.
Okay. As you do so, because this is the way it works, and you make an attack, you immediately become visible.
Yeah.
Is Ellen visible too?
No, you are
Okay.
still invisible. But the broom appears and Cecil appears as you hold your staff forward, and a cone arc of terrible, frigid energy spirals out from the staff. I would say that there's a couple. How big is the cone? It's like a 15-foot arc, 15-foot cone,
60-foot cone.
60-foot cone. Holy shit! Okay, so
Wow.
So it gets in there.
so
It gets in
it just gets in there.
That's just a fun little guy that just gets in there.
So I would say that as hold on, how do you angle it? Show me
I'm
like
basically just angling it like straight out from where balls.
I'm just trying to think. So if like 60 feet is basically this amount, the cone is going to cover that much.
Yeehaw.
So it's gonna hit not only the cannon but like these 4 guys and the Flesh Guardian.
Well, fuck those
Oh.
4 guys then.
So I need to make con saves for all of them. So it's a DC 16.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up my list here for the cultists. So DC 16 con save. One of them succeeds, 3 of them fail. And as for the Flesh Guardian, he fails as well.
Wow, really? I thought they had high con.
They do, but I rolled low.
Nice.
So the Flesh Guardian takes 36 points of damage. 3 of the Harbinger cultists also take 36 points of damage, and their bodies immediately turn into
Oh.
ice statues and then
Oh.
sink back down into the water. The one that's still manning the cannon took a lot of damage, but he's still kicking, so that he took half of that, right? So that's 18 points of damage. His robe is covered in frost, and he looks like he is almost dead. The cannon is covered in a nice fine icy coating of frost at the moment.
Okay, there's still 1 guy left, but Milo, you want to go?
There's a bunch of shouting at this point as the number of the others are. I flipped him the wrong way. He's upside down now. The rest of these guys see Cecil on her broom, and let's see what they're gonna do. One of them is gonna attempt to cast Hold Person on you.
Oh no!
I need you to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Where is my relation? I can't see this, can I? Or can I?
Can I try to counterspell that, or no? If I did,
did
I see? him
You
start to-
can. It's this guy over here. He's behind
Okay.
you. So unless you're like looking all around, you probably can if you're facing directly forward.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But
Saving.
Hiraeth can definitely see. I'm gonna say like as this is happening, they're all going to be attacking at once. That's the only character they see on the board. So one of them is attempting to cast Hold Person. Another one is firing a cantrip at you. As his hands light up with flame, and he fires a radiant bolt at you. That is going to be a. Hold on.
I'll counterspell the Hold Person.
Okay. So you counterspell the whole person, it doesn't go off. The second person fires this cantrip at you. It's an 18 to hit.
That just hits, I think.
Okay.
Wait, let me check
So-
my AC. I think it. Yeah. Oh wait, no. Wait.
You have 19?
I think so. Hold on, let me double check that real quick. No,
Okay,
18.
so while-
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so you only take 2 points of radiant damage. It was a cantrip.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, he's a 4th level spellcaster. Okay. And the remaining 2, the necromancers, Um, one of them fires an Eldritch Blast at you. And the final one is going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Cool.
Wait, where are these other two that are casting?
These two necromancers, this one and this one.
Oh, they're up top. Okay, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
So they're kind of wading in the water, and they see Sissel, but they don't see anybody else. So the one who's firing Eldritch Blast at you, that's okay. He's a 14th level spellcaster. So at 14th level, he gets 3 beams. So
14th? Is that what you said?
yeah,
What?
yeah, 14th level.
spicy.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
He only hits with one of those beams because I rolled low. For a total of 6 points of force damage.
Okay.
And finally, the one that is casting Dissonant Whispers on you, I need you to make a, I believe that's Wisdom saving throw? Yeah, Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Fuck me. That is a 14.
That just fails.
Ugh.
You take... come on. Oh, wow. I rolled a 3, 1, and a 2 on that 3d6. So you took 6 points of psychic damage. However, you also feel compelled to use your movement speed to run away from the direction of it.
Well, that works out because I was planning on doing that anyway.
I'm not
Are
sure.
you on the? You can. They will not do anything that will hurt them. So if she's in the air, she's not going to run off her broom or something.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
part of
so
the spell.
you desperately arc the broom to the side and begin heading.
Does the
south.
broom even have movement as a reaction?
I'm not sure.
I'm just
it's
saying
part
it
of-
might not do anything.
True.
I assume
Probably
it
can't.
might, but who knows?
No, it doesn't. It's just a vehicle. So,
So it actually doesn't make Sissel move.
Yeah,
I would say that it probably still does because you want to get away from the source of the pain, so you sort of just arc the broom to the side and begin sailing your movement speed. And I'd say only your movement speed, not the broom's movement speed. So like
Okay.
30 feet south.
Alright, so.
But those 3 are dead. This one is treading water. These 4 are treading water. What do the rest of you wish to do as you're all seeing this
Fire.
happen? So this is all kicking off like at once. Ellen, you are with Sissel on the back there. Is there anything you wish to do? Is there anything, Mido, Goff, you're doing something already. Hiraeth,
I already did a.
you already
counterspell.
counterspelled.
Is
Okay.
Mel here?
Mel? No.
Oh my god. This is like the third or fourth time tonight.
4th time.
Jesus.
I mean, can I still swim across?
Yeah, you can. So if you want to take your action to pull the Cloak of the Manta Ray up, and you already pulled it up.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so it's already up. You dive into the water and you're going to rush toward the cannon.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So you can take your full movement to get over there because it's 60 feet.
like right here.
Yeah, you can get right there. You're right next to this cultist. You're underwater, so this cultist actually can't even see you because he's treading water right now. You're right. You can attempt to use your action to manipulate the object if you wish.
Let me see here. He's
Why don't
treading
just
water.
fucking-
I'm underneath him.
You either can attack him or use the object, one or the other, unless you action search.
He's almost dead, so I would probably focus on the cannon because he's not. I don't know. I guess it's up to whatever Mido would do. I guess.
I feel like
And you're underwater, so I don't think your rapier would work. Your flame tongue, at least.
the sword would.
Yeah, the sword part.
The sword port, yeah. I'll just try and fuck with the cannon then.
I'm going to say, as this is all kicking off too, Ellen would probably fire a bolt at the Harbinger that's near you. So, I'll just let her. Okay, so while you're manipulating the cannon, You dive underwater and you're floating above this cannon. You see a number of controls and dials. Nothing to indicate like a self-destruct, but it does seem like it's primed to fire again.
There's no big red button.
No.
Man.
So the plan was to try and fire it somewhere harmless, so it wouldn't go near the ships, and then just fire it. To see if
Yeah.
it... Sorry.
I'm trying to. No, you're fine. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
Okay.
No, I was just throwing out the reminder in case.
So with that attack, since Maito is actually flanking him, Alan fires an arrow at this harbinger that's right next to him, and it goes straight through his skull, and he's just floating.
Oh,
underwater now.
jeez.
I would put my hand up above the water to give a thumbs up, but I think I'm too deep under.
You're too deep.
Yep,
Yeah.
you're submerged.
Okay. What's it pointed at right now?
It's pointed toward the fleet, straight ahead.
Is there any way to move it? Like,
You
with
press
sheer
some buttons.
strength? And so even if I push
Sheer
it
strength,
this
you would
way-
not. Sheer strength, you would not.
Okay,
have
it's
the
too
ability
heavy,
to-
right?
It's too heavy,
Okay.
but it is on a track, so you could probably angle it up or down, or move it to the left or right, and then
Move
fire.
up. Yeah, or I guess just down into the water also.
I was gonna do down and.
Okay,
and
make an intelligence check just to see if you can understand how to use this thing.
Okay, hang on. Let's not forget that I am smart too.
You are smart, but you still have never
16
used this
intelligence. So hold on, please God, please don't.
Hey, okay. Yeah, you can just since this is a very high intensity situation, you don't have a lot of time to look it over. But you do manage to get the gist of it as you're looking at it, and there do seem to be a number of arrow-like buttons that indicate how to manipulate the direction it's firing in, and then a number of sliders and buttons that will fire it. The sliders indicating the intensity of it. It looks like it's only at like half intensity right now, what they're firing at, and then there's like a big button for firing it. So what do you do with that information?
So I did not move it.
You did not move it yet.
I was going to.
There are arrows for you that you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna
press
try
that
and do that. Yes,
Okay,
yes. Sorry.
So which way do you would angle it?
Okay, so based on the angle it's at right now, it's in the optimal position to hit the fleet. If I go down.
It'll start. It's like opposite control. So if you hit the down arrow, it starts.
No, I mean,
upward.
yeah, sorry. It's
Yeah.
literal cannon controls. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
hit the up button, it'll go down.
Yeah. So which way do you want it pointing?
Down towards the water.
Okay.
And I would like to try and push it away from the I don't know if it's centered on the
It's
fleet.
you can't really. The angle that it can move left or right will not allow you to face it anywhere other than
Okay,
toward the
so
fleet.
I'll just
But
do down.
you,
so that
you
way
press
it's
it so
angled
it,
towards the
it
ocean.
angles downward, and you still have the slider for the intensity of the blast as well as the button to fire it.
I will lower the intensity.
You're going to lower it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you lower it all the way to the bottom, so it's at the minimum amount of intensity to fire, and then you press the button.
Yes.
Okay.
And then everyone dies, and Lauren fucked up.
We don't know what
So-
this is going to do. There's nothing that you could do.
You fire the button, and there's a steady hum from the device as it fires a smaller-looking beam into the ground of the shoreline. A bunch of water and splashes up and kicks up a bunch of rock and dirt and sand as you see a hissing sound escape from the top of the device. Those of you who are above ground see that the vents that have been coated over with ice seem to be trying to break. The steam tries to break through the ice, but it doesn't seem to be able to.
Oh no! Oh, I'm gonna swim away if I can.
You see the green runes on the device turn
Uh-oh.
red.
Uh-oh. Swim away.
Do I have enough movement, or can I action surge?
You'd have to action surge. to
I'm
go
an
like-
action surge to
Okay.
walk away. I go all the way back.
All right. So as this thing starts giving off a klaxon, and
That was my
then
action surge, yo.
and then
As long as you're alive, man.
what happens? So 30.
Something bad for using the arrow.
Wait a
Oh my
minute. I
god!
might not have my action surge.
You
Do I
had
get-
it.
You short
Got
rest.
it back from short rest.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You
I
got
thought
it.
it was long rest. Whew.
Oh my god, if she was point blank for something bad, that would have been
Oh
really.
god, that would have been
Ooh.
horrible.
So this thing, as the red lights on it turn
Oh my
on, and
God.
and this klaxon goes off, you see the seams of it begin to crack as a great pale green energy erupts as the device detonates, taking with it a 30-foot radius
Oh,
of disintegration energy.
what? Oh my god, Mido would have been so fucked, dude.
Oh my
my
god,
God.
yeah, mine would have been super dead.
That's 40d6.
Ah!
Oh,
That's 141 points of force damage.
it's a really good thing that dissonant whispers happened.
Yeah, it couldn't have
That
killed me.
takes out. I'm gonna say that takes out. It instantly disintegrates these two guys, as well as the revenant that's on the ground over here. Even though he's slightly out of range, I'm gonna say it takes him out too. Does it take that revenant out? Let's find out. Nope. It doesn't get that one. It doesn't get the two on the far shore. Gets the flesh golem. He takes 141 points of force damage.
Holy shit!
Let me just see how that's gonna work.
Does it disintegrate the water that I'm raising?
Yes.
Oh.
Like the
And
entire
everything
thing.
else.
Everything's
Jesus.
obliterated. Hold on. I'm doing some quick calculations.
Oh my god, dude.
Okay, so here's what you see happen as this disintegration energy goes off and creates a very temporary crater as the water hovers over there before before it rushes in. Everyone's just obliterated except for the Flesh Guardian. What you see is the
Oh.
disintegration energy takes off what looks to be a first layer of
Oh god.
his form, and you suddenly see him standing there, and he seems to have changed form a little bit. His arms are no longer claws, they are what look to be sharp harpoons.
What?
Okay.
At this point, I'm going to say there's going to have to start a combat, because unless you guys want to run away...
Just this golem?
the golem, there's one revenant left, there's a necromancer left, and a harbinger.
I'm cool with running away. I don't know if you guys are cool with running away, but I'm cool with running away. I mean, these guys are probably gonna alert the rest
I
of the people
mean-
on the island.
So, because of the disintegration, that basically took out, like...
Oh my god!
Oops. Not,
Did it
not-
did it create a crater in the beach?
yeah,
There's a big hole there now.
just a big hole.
Is my water still filling the area to like refill?
Yes,
or is
it refilled
okay.
like a turn later, basically.
But-
so these are
but-
all gone.
So
Oh,
me doing
I
that
accidentally moved the... Yeah, there it is. Okay.
so me doing that does create difficult terrain for all of them.
Yes.
Is that okay? So we have a remnant, the guardian.
I will
and
clear out the ones that are basically got vaporized. So that's all you see left on them.
I'm really
Did you,
glad
like-
Mido had a reaction surge.
Is it possible to have like a vague circle of where the crater is?
Hold on.
Just like with a circle drawing, like a
Yeah, give me one moment. I can actually do. You
just so
one
we
better.
know, like
I can do you one better.
oh, you can just pop one in.
30 feet radius would be 60 feet long, so I need to make this so it's 1, 2, 3. It needs to be twice this size. I think 5, 10, 15. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Jesus. Oh God,
Oh my
Mido was
God.
in
Oh
the
my
Mido was in the epicenter of that.
Mido would have been disintegrated.
She would have been absolutely gone.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you used your action surge. It would have
Yeah, that
not
would
been
have been
worth it to
so
save it.
Oh,
bad.
Whatever, I'd be fine.
No, you wouldn't.
It would be the opposite of mine.
You would die. You would die harder than anyone's ever died.
Whatever.
You would have
I
been
got
completely disintegrated. No one would have found your body. You would have been dust.
Oh.
Okay, so, so
Oh my god! You guys didn't even think about that, huh? You just set me out there.
We didn't know what was gonna happen.
No, I know.
We didn't even know that.
Guys, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's
okay.
so
All right.
joke.
So what are you all doing? Are you retreating?
I'm holding the water up. I'm gonna act upon what other people do.
Okay. Goff,
'Cause I'm
are
not
you
really
just
in the
keeping it
combat.
are you keeping it at raised water, or can you do like multiple things at once? Like if you've raised the water level, can you do some of the other things while it's still
I don't
raised?
know. I don't know. So that was actually something I was thinking about. So here's what it says: you can choose from any of the following effects when you cast a spell. As an action on your turn, you can repeat the same effect or choose a different one. It doesn't specify if you can combo them. It probably can't be both.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would say with that language, you probably can't combo them. So
Yeah.
either it's got to be raised or
But-
it's got to be like.
And we
If-
don't necessarily have to do this alone. We've destroyed the cannon. We can set up the flares.
Yeah. So now it's on Sissel because she has to send up the firebolts, right?
I'll do that right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
my
here's
question is though, if I
what?
keeping them in the water keeps it a difficult terrain, so that would help. But can I do something where, like, if I rescind the water, will the effect of the water going down back towards the sea or into the crater like push them?
No, that would be
anywhere?
more like a control flow ability. That would be
Somebody
more
has-
like redirect flow. So yeah, if you let go of the raised water aspect of this, of the flooding aspect, it would just sink back down to normal.
Okay.
So what do you wish to do?
I feel like it's giving us an advantage that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold it, and because it basically makes the Revenant and the Flesh Guardian pretty unable to do stuff.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna say is.
And
Gonna
but the
happen.
Harbinger and the Necromancer, we can deal with them, and then we can deal with the other two.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying is gonna happen right now. Are you staying or are you going?
I'm following what I mean. I don't know.
I think we should go and let people.
I think we should
live.
retreat. We don't
Okay,
need
so
to fight
Cecil,
these
you're-
guys,
you're-
we just needed
you're-
a cannon.
You're taking your broom and turning around and fleeing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send up 2 firebolts straight into the air.
Okay. Okay. So the rest of you begin heading into the coral forest. I'm gonna say as you're going, the Flesh Guardian, who's still submerged underwater. Let's see if he can see you as you're retreating, because he's.
I mean, I'm
I'd
probably
say
gonna
he has.
hold. Sorry.
I'd say he has a disadvantage perception check because he's underwater. So that's a natural 3. Okay, so I'm gonna say he's gonna shoot his harpoon arms wildly. Since he's at disadvantage, he gets disadvantage on the attack. So
This is some killing floor shit. This guy.
okay, so he needs to make 2.
Classic.
He does a multi-attack, but he can only fire one of his. Actually, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yep, multi-attack. He can make 1 harpoon arm attack, 60 feet range.
Me harpoon arm!
me crab arm.
So that's actually 2 20s.
What?
What?
Okay.
So
Wait,
here's
What?
Yeah, I rolled a 13 plus 7 and another 13 plus 7.
Oh, I thought you meant 2
I
natural
thought you meant
20s.
natural
I thought it was
20s.
my pan.
Oh.
I thought you rolled a 3 on the attack, or that was perception.
That was just perception. I
But
gave
he's
him
attacking-
disadvantage because
so
he's firing his. Actually, no, I'm gonna give him double disadvantage if that's your
Wait,
thing.
so how? Wait, so what's he firing at if you get in if you rolled so low on the perception check?
Okay, you know what? You're right. So I'm gonna say he rolls again. This time he got a natural 1. So Cecil, as you're flying away from this scene, you see this flesh-like harpoon appendage fly past you and barely graze the side of you, and then retract. As the rest of you flee into the forest. As this is happening and you send up those 2 firebolts to give the signal, you start to see the Arcadian fleets moving in toward this position. And with a thunderous crackle of mortar cannons going off as they begin to bombard the beaches.
Oh.
The forward beach that you had established, the remaining people on it are absolutely obliterated by the mortar fire.
I love how
And
they just fired on our position. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can assume they probably had eyes on it from
Yeah.
a spyglass. And
Okay, fair,
Sure that you were
yeah.
clear. So the entire beach is absolutely obliterated. A number
Oh
of the
my
other forward
God.
cannon emplacements, now that they've finally found a hold, they focused their mortar cannon fire on those as well, creating a large bulwark in order to get in. And you make your way deeper into the coral forest. You find yourselves moving through the coral forest, the red and orange stalks rising up around you, dotted with large bulbs of blue, purple, and green. Beyond the unnatural landscape you see rising up before you, you see a man-made construction. 3 towering ziggurats.
Oh god.
Stepped pyramids made of the same dark obsidian metal that you have come to associate with the precursors, each one larger than a city block. As you stare at this distant monument, as you rush through the coral forest, you hear a sound. And looking off to your left, you spy the telltale signs of a campfire.
Oh no. Is this what I think it is?
You see a campfire off to the side, and you see what look to be a number of figures moving within it. They seem to be in a panicked mobilization as the mortar fire has come down upon the beachheads. They do not appear to have noticed you.
What do they look like?
They look like a number of people in cultist robes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought this was. I thought they were
Yeah, me
different
too.
people. Why did it? Okay. But they're looking like they're mobilizing to go.
They look like they're mobilizing, and as you're rushing past, you see what look to be a number of makeshift, like iron cages in the camp.
Uh huh. Are there people in them?
Yes.
Okay. How many cultists are there, and how many people in cages are there?
There seem to be a number of them. Everyone give me a quick perception check as you're running past this, because this is like a very quick, like...
Perception?
Quick
Don't know if I do.
I'm a very perceptive
Oh, wow,
person.
it's like-
Fuck me running!
19.
Come on!
19.
19 as well.
19.
Mine is 11. Not great.
11. I'm not going to roll for Ellen. I'm assuming she'd probably get like a 30, but she's not here, so I'm not going to have her take part. Sissel and Hiraeth, as you're running past and you see this commotion, you see them all appearing to mobilize. First of all, they don't look to be mobilizing to head in the direction of the mortar fire. They look to be running in the opposite direction, heading in the opposite side of the island where the shipyards are. At the same time, you notice there are a number of people in these camps, these cages, that look to be wearing tattered Arcadian military uniforms.
Oh fuck.
And finally, you notice one person strung up in the middle of the camp. It appears to be a Goliath man.
Uh-oh.
Like,
Oh,
wait,
no!
hanging by his neck?
No, he looks to
Okay.
be... Well, you don't see this, Goff, because this is...
Well, I'm just
like
asking for
more-
clarification purposes. People did see it.
You just see a large form. You can't really make out like how he's strung up. You just see a large form in the center of the camp near the campfire.
Hold up.
What?
Are they, like, charging off without the prisoners?
Yes. The camp appears to be emptying.
There was a camp full of cultists over there with some prisoners, but they seem to be leaving them behind.
So much for prize.
There's a Goliath in the camp.
I look at him. Do they look familiar to me?
Do you stop and actually take a look?
Are we stopping?
I think we have to.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to look at it from a distance, but before I
Goff,
close
as
in.
you can't really make the person out through the coral forest from your distance. There's a bunch of coral in the way, sort of blocking
Okay.
your view. You'd have to get a little closer.
Should we not, for the Arcadians?
I guess we have to. We're
Wow.
kind of in a hurry, but-
If these are prisoners, they could help us, but
Yes, okay. Let us make sure that let's keep on your toes. Let us help them, but try to keep ourselves unnoticed.
Okay.
I start to move towards and
All right.
see towards the prisoners, I
All
guess.
right. Goff, as you make your way toward the camp. As all of you make your way toward the camp, you spot maybe about.
Can I do a check for any hiding people that might?
Yeah,
Just
give me a
Just
perception.
to make sure, being cautious because we don't
Give
know.
me a perception check, but at the same time, you notice.
21.
Yeah, okay. You don't see anybody.
Okay.
You spot 5 prisoners in Arcadian military uniforms. Some appear to be lower ranked soldiers. You recognize them as the missing members of Major Roberta Jackson's ship that went down.
Oh
Oh,
fuck!
They
I
they
didn't
look
realize they were still alive.
they look malnourished. Their military uniforms are in tatters. They look like they've been tortured. They're tired, but they are still alive. The Goliath man, Goff, as you come upon the camp, you see this man. He is shackled about his wrists and ankles, chained spread eagle between these 2 heavy iron posts. And he is nude except for the barest of undergarments, and his body is heavily tattooed with the boulder-like emblems of the Cragbreaker clan. And his body is bruised and bloodied, malnourished, and he bears wounds from torture in several places across his back and abdomen. And his head hangs limply, his long, curly black hair matted over his face. And though it's been 20 years, Goff, you still recognize your brother, Artur the Spirit Touched.
Oh my god. I know that this is not necessarily how Goff would think, but God, what a narrative flip, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Gods above. Yeah. Everyone, get Jackson's crew out of the cages.
Okay.
And I walk up to him.
As you approach, Artur slowly brings his head up to look at you, and his eyes shine weakly. And he squints at you for a moment, and he says, "Have they sent you, of all people, to bring me to my final rest? The gods are not without their cruel irony, it seems."
You know who I am.
"You and I have a connection, brother. Perhaps a spiritual one."
Is that so?
"Yes. Although it appears that my lady has left me."
I'm back and oh my god, what?
Why is there a big hole in the map?
Oh my god, someone's gonna tell him about that.
Hold on.
Let's not ruin this
No,
moment.
right.
We'll do this later.
Yeah.
Well, it's complicated, but she is not benevolent. You would know that.
No, she's a bitch.
Mito points and like,
I hear she's the queen of them.
Unblock me, I have something to say. Bitch.
I would love to continue this conversation, but as you can see, I do not have long.
You think you're dying?
I have been tortured and starved for a week. They killed every one of my apprentices, one by one, in front of me, to make me talk. I would not talk.
And what would kill a cleric so easily?
Several smaller wounds that add up over time. And you look down, it looks like he's been severely tortured, and by that I mean stabbed multiple times in non-vital places and left to bleed.
I mean, is this the kind of thing that I wouldn't be able to heal?
You could probably try. He'd still be very weak.
No, Artur, I don't think so. Your time is not yet come, and I am not here to deliver judgment upon you. You have a niece We both have one. And a brother trying to make things right. I would think you need to be there for your people. And I'm gonna give him a healing word.
Okay.
Just to help stabilize him, I guess,
roll
from
the heal.
dying.
Yeah, roll the.
death he's been doing.
Yeah, there you go. 8 HP.
8 HP. Okay. He looks a little healthier after that. Some of his wounds do close up. The bleeding stops. His breath grows a little more steady. And he says, "So you would deny me even this? Very well. If that
I do
is
not
to be my
control.
destiny."
Oh, shut up. I'm gonna undo his chains. You're not fit for fighting.
He, as soon as the chains go loose, he falls to the ground. Is clearly too weak.
I make
to-
sure that he doesn't fall in a way that fucks him up. Catch
Okay.
him too. You crag breakers and your stupid honor codes and honorable deaths. What? Just accept it.
I'm like, we're all here for this, right?
Mhm.
We're all
Yeah,
watching.
you're all
Okay.
adjacent.
I'm like, kind of like golf clapping for Goff right now.
Goth clapping.
Mm-hmm.
Golf clapping! Yeah!
Just
That's
glad
when
that. Sorry.
That's when you clap, but like in a way
But
that
you're
you don't
9
talk.
feet tall.
The
Yeah.
rest of you, as you're starting to free the Arcadians from the cages, they look surprised and very, very happy to see you. The dwarven woman, Private Ava, whose hair is her kind of dirty blonde hair is all unkempt at this point. She looks and she says, "Are they coming? Are the Arcadians here?"
Yep.
They're on their way.
Oh, they're coming, but also we're
What?
here too, so that's...
That's great news. That's great. Where should we meet them? Where's the rendezvous point?
They're coming towards the beach, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful. There might be
Which
still be
beach?
some.
There's beaches all over the island.
What direction we came from?
Yeah.
So what direction is that?
It's probably like the eastern shore.
Because we kind of just ran in a straight line, didn't we? Like,
Yeah. It's on the eastern shore of the island.
I turned away from Ardor for a second. To the east, we took out one of the cannons.
At that point, Private Leo, the gnomish-looking man, he pipes up and he says, "That's strange. Why did they go in the other direction then? The cultists."
We don't know. Maybe they're going to. Maybe
You
they're
see
running
him-
to hide.
You see a
We don't
human
know.
man. You see a human man who's the navigator on the ship, Seamus. He speaks a little bit. "I overheard them. He said I heard one of them ran into the camp, said it was a group of mercenaries on the other side of the island, tearing a bloody swath through it.
Hey.
Is that so?
Is it us?
They have a dog with them, apparently."
Oh,
They
that's
have
us!
an
That is
evil
us!
Roscoe?
That's a complicated story.
Alan is just, they have an evil
Oh no, that's
Roscoe?
not us.
Have a mega Roscoe.
The opposite of us.
Look, it's a
We
long,
need to get moving.
it's a long story, and we don't understand why. But let them distract for the time being. Now, I am glad to see you all safe. Your captain, Jackson, she is well. She is on the Dauntless. So she'll be glad to see you alive again. Now,
Private Maxwell speaks up. Says, "Good, she owes me a drink."
I like to Artor.
He kind of glowers at you a little bit, but he looks a little too weak to object to you. I gotta turn these
Ar-
fucking...
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Honestly, I'm glad to see you as you are. I was worried that by the time we found you, you'd be some kind of undead mess. Manipulated and morphed into something worse. You can recover from this.
The body may recover in time. Where's our pig-headed brother?
Which one?
The one who fancies himself a king.
He's on the ship with the Arcadians. He's with his daughter, your niece.
Well, looks like everything worked out after all.
We had to forge an alliance, and I'm sure that for many, is not one they appreciate. The third pig-headed brother was made sure to express that, but he has been neutralized. He is not dead, but he will no longer be a threat.
Oh, that was a long time coming. I should see to the people.
The Embrace needs you again. Yeah, but the Jarl there, she's doing a fine job.
I feel an absence of our goddess. And if that means what I think it means, then I will need to see to the people, and their faith will be tested in the coming days.
She has foregone the islands.
It is as I feared then.
A moot was held. The Jarls gathered with with Jirok, and we were there. And in discussing what to do about the island and about Orn, Umberly, using the body of Vival, one of your disciples, I'm sure you know, she spoke to us, and she expressed great distaste for what we were doing, softening her people, all the things she hates, not spilling enough blood, not sinking enough ships, not putting gold on the bottom of the ocean where it does nothing except please this...
Brother, I'm a little too tired for this right now. You can explain it all to me later.
The point is, Jirok did the right thing. And he's always trying to do it, even if he is a bit of an idiot.
Well, then I'll have words with him later, but for now, we need to get off this island.
Yes, you're not in any fit to be here. I turn to the crew members of Jackson's ship. I say, can you all escort him to the shore?
Private Ava and Samson, the two dwarven soldiers, they salute you and say, aye, aye. We'll make sure he gets there unharmed.
And just use a flag or anything to indicate that you are not hostile. I don't know if they're going to fire on movement on sight or not. I suppose they have their spy glasses. Just be careful.
You got it.
And I grab... Sorry, go ahead.
Have we sent up the 2 flares?
Yes,
Yep,
they're on
that
the
was a while ago.
We escaped to go run away from the stuff we were fighting, and then the Arcadians mortar fired the shore after we got out of the way. And then I turned to Artor and I grabbed his face like by his chin, like was pushing his cheeks up, and say, "Be nice to them. They're saving your life."
He kind of grumbles a little bit, and he says, very well, as long as you promise to avenge my apprentices, strike back at these faithless cultists.
Before we go, and I aim to do just that, is there anything that you could tell us that would help? And I looked at him and everyone. Besides, he already mentioned the thing about the mercenaries, the Seamus, but if there's anything else.
He says yes. There was a creature claimed to be from our past. Remember the name Mogath?
Regrettably.
He walks again, although his head is separated from his body.
I won't settle it.
You may face him down below. He tends to stay within that infernal complex of theirs, performing who knows what experiments or dark rituals.
Is he in charge of all this?
He appears to be, although many of the cultists don't seem to like it.
Do they call him something else?
I've heard the name Bonehead or Skullbrain used.
Yes. Okay, that puzzle piece fits in now. We heard some others talking about it earlier.
Be careful.
He contacted Drock and I through a spell of some kind before we even started sailing out this way. He's on the warpath.
Be careful. I've been here a week, but I think I figured out what they're doing.
What do you think?
They're building ships on the far side of the island.
Right.
Every so often, the Revenants bring back more prisoners, and then those prisoners go into the ziggurat. And then when they come out, they are Revenants as well. I think they plan an invasion of the mainland, using undead soldiers.
The people would not stand a chance. Well, we're here to stop it. And if not only these islands are to thrive, the rest of Fatum is to live on, we must.
I
There's no other
cannot
way.
stand in your way. I wish I could go with you to avenge my
No.
faithful.
I will do my best.
Very well.
Be with your family. That's all you can do right now.
He nods to you as the Arcadian soldiers move up alongside you, and a couple of them, the humans, attempt to hoist him to his feet and assist him.
They just nod to the soldiers and things.
Yeah, they nod to you and begin making their way out of the camp and heading toward the beaches.
Ugh. Well, what now?
Keep moving on. We know that our doppelgangers are.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we don't allow them to get before us.
So, we should not wait for the Arcadians to come with us.
I think we
No.
should keep moving.
Very well. We don't. Again, we need to avoid fighting as much as possible until we deal with the bigger threats. So what should I guess we need to get closer to see what's in front of us.
Question, did I end up using the honey like at all?
No.
Okay.
We just had Cecil just used the cone of coal, and then Mito used the cannon, and the ice blocked the vent.
And then nearly got nuked.
Yeah, so it exploded in a disintegration explosion, which made a huge crater and destroyed everything around it. And if Mito had not been able to action surge to get away, she'd be the most possibly dead she could be. She'd be so dead we wouldn't be able to revive her.
My body would have been non-existent.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mito would have been like.
Yeah, it was
Vapor.
141 force damage. Mito would have been obliterated.
Oh.
I mean, I have 90-something.
No, you would have been dead.
Yeah, I would have been dead.
You die with that spell.
You would
Yeah,
have
if you
been
hit
dead,
zero
and your
If you
body
die
would
with
have
that
been.
spell, you die in real life.
You die in real life.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you hit zero hit points from disintegration, your body turns to dust instantly. There's no saving throws. You're done.
I think you can resurrect with a true res or something,
A
but
true res or a reincarnation if you have a piece of them. But reincarnation doesn't guarantee you will come back as an elf. You come back as something else.
Oh, God, I don't want to be anything else.
Mito looks at her body, it's like...
Or a wish
"Excuse
spell
me?"
would have also done it. So basically 9th level spells. And yeah,
That's
it's
a
not
lot.
yeah, it was really scary, but it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Sweating.
Ellen
God, that
dips her
Jesus
finger in the
Lord.
honey and just... not bad.
Oh my god.
Mito is convinced that she would have survived that, but
I just
I mean-
I just feel like sorry.
Of course she is.
I just feel like that was such a great example of how of our group where like we tried to do something like we tried to be like really like planned about it and do like this really stealth mission kind of thing or whatever and then we just end up causing a massive horrible explosion, which was
Yeah.
not necessarily what we planned.
Explosions, demons, you
Yeah.
know,
Alan was-
eyeballs.
Mostly hoping for like just it stops working and just maybe just like shuts down. But okay, explosion.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you wish to do now? As the camp clears out, you hear the sound of fighting along the shores as the landing parties begin hitting the beaches. You hear the sound of distant screaming and shouts from the opposite side of the island, where your doppelgangers are possibly cutting through the shipyards and the camps on the other side.
Okay. Okay.
I guess we're just moving towards the ziggurats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Cecil, take me up. Let's see if I can find a fast, not occupied course.
All right.
Okay, so you hop on the broom with Cecil and you head up above the coral forest and try to get a good look at everything. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Ho ho ho! That's another natural 17.
Jesus.
So, what is that total? 29 or 30? Because that'll make a difference. No, I'm kidding.
That's a 29.
Okay, so I'll say that with the amount of chaos that's going on the island now between your doppelgangers on the opposite side and the Arcadians landing, and as you're looking toward the beaches on the Arcadian side, you see a number of ships are offloading Grey Striders and Madmanes. You see Berserkers start plowing through the camps. You see Goliaths on dire wolves with swords and crossbows running in, doing guerrilla tactics on these camps.
Hell yeah.
More of the ships are coming in as they're taking more of the cannons offline. More of the ships are coming into range and bombarding the coasts with cannon fire as they begin one by one going through the camps, rescuing people from the cages and so forth. The path toward the ziggurat seems clear, at least from where your perspective is. It looks like most of the people have branched off from their camps to go join in the fighting to defend the center of the island.
All right. Okay, it seems clear. Let's just move.
Right.
All right. So as you rush toward the ziggurats and with the sound of fighting on the distant shores, the chaos upon the island is palpable as the invasion forces do their bloody work. The stepped pyramids loom up in front of you, and you see a great carved archway in the monument leading deeper into the interior, almost reminiscent of the temple you found months ago in the Ebony Thicket.
Wait, what?
You know that temple you found where Moira
Where we
was?
accidentally let them die, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
It's almost reminiscent of that kind of archway. It's a big old archway in the side of the ziggurat, and the closer you get, the more you hear this steady droning sound from within, almost like a ritual chanting.
Do we want to just go in there guns blazing, or do we want to sneak?
Does it give me any sort of vibe, a particular, like the chanting doesn't sound like
They
anything?
sound like prayer.
Can I make it out, or is it kind of gibberish?
Do you know Infernal?
No.
So no.
Goff would not know Infernal.
Wait.
Actually, it wouldn't be Infernal. It would be Far Speech, so you wouldn't know that.
Oh, never mind.
Nope.
Demonic, cursed tongue.
Dang.
It's not
One
good.
time that would be useful to me.
Okay. What do you wish to do?
Hey, we need to be quick, but we don't want to draw any unwanted attention, so let's try and be quiet, I suppose. But we can't wait too much.
All right. I'll scout ahead. And I hop off the broom and
Okay,
vanish into the
okay.
Okay,
shadows
stealth.
with a natural 20.
Holy
my
shit.
fucking- So what's the
Bye.
total, just for my own satisfaction?
just for that's a 20 plus 13, so that's a 33.
A 33. So for a very brief moment, Ellen teleports out of existence into another campaign, and back in Arcadia, Deep Chris is eating a sandwich, and he's like,
And then the sandwich just disappears.
yeah. Ellen appears back with a sandwich.
Deep Chris is doing fake karate hands, like he's doing a karate chop. Whoa!
See
Doc,
that, see that karate kick?
Really
There's a pretzel.
righteous.
Doc,
There's some nachos.
Doc, are you making some weird invisible thing again, man?
Anyway, Ellen, as you get closer to the interior of the ziggurat, your elf eyes see
Oh my god.
a number of pillars within. In the center of this pillared room, you see a great altar, a statue of the Elder Elemental Eye Gonadar.
God.
And surrounding
that guy
it,
again.
and surrounding it, you see maybe a dozen cultists in red robes, all kneeling in prayer and chanting before it.
There's about a dozen red robes here, praying in front of you know who,
Oh, my favorites.
our old friend.
Of course.
So, what do we want to do about this?
Is it like a situation where we wouldn't be able to get past them without
You don't
them
see any other obvious ways to go. It looks like, Ellen, from your perspective, there's 4 entrances to the ziggurat, similar archways as the one you're standing near, on either side of the pyramid, on all 4 sides. And it seems like if you were to go through, you just go to the other side of the ziggurat.
So there's no like staircase down.
There's no obvious staircase, no.
Okay. So, do you guys want to try to sneak past them or kill them off as fast as we can?
Should we check the other ziggurats first?
That might be a good idea.
Might I remind you that we are racing our doppelgangers, who are very much fighting very quickly through a swarm of them.
I mean,
Yes.
if they all lead underground, we can hopefully assume they lead the same place.
But we don't see any ways underground in this building.
This building does continue forward and downward, right?
No.
No?
No, it has
Oh,
entrances
no?
on the 4 side that all go out into the same, like out into the jungle or like whatever.
Oh,
It's basically, the ziggurat itself is like a square building. Where's the fucking drawing tool? There it is. So it's like, you got a square building, and then your actual entrances are like here, 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 and here. And this is where you are right now. And there's the Ganador statue in the middle, with a few pillars all around it. And,
okay.
and then a bunch of just cultists like dotted around.
And it doesn't look like Alan.
And it doesn't look like there's any way down.
No, there's a number of like torch sconces on some of these pillars, but there doesn't appear to be any like staircase or anything.
Okay, because when you said like you can go on through, I was like, oh, you can go down. Yeah, okay. I thought it was like a room within the ziggurat that I was looking at, but I'm looking at the whole like inside.
It's the whole
I mean,
interior.
if there is some kind of way down, we can't see it. It's some kind of hidden thing. So that's why I suggested we try the other ones, because maybe there are other obvious paths in those. But
Can I suggest checking around the Yeah, let's check the other ziggurats.
The other ziggurats would probably be some distance away.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I
you're
thought
at
they
the
were next
center
to
of the
each other.
island. No, they're not immediately right next to each other. They're some distance away. They're all in the center of the island, kind of clustered. There are no other like monuments or buildings on the island. They're all near the center, but they're probably a few hundred feet away from each other.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Okay.
Well, what do we do? There's no start. There's no way down.
No obvious way down. Do we want? Okay. Hmm. Ca- Actually, if I were a secret passage, I would definitely be under the Gonador statue, where all the cultists are staring at it all the time. So I would suggest. Should I? Should I? Should I go in there and take a peepers? Actually, no. I'm just gonna use my Walden goggles again because you know what?
Okay.
It's been 34
1 week.
years.
It's been 34 years. Okay. All right. Give me an investigation check with advantage.
With advantage. So that is a.
Did I ever give you a
13,
limit on the number of times you can use that?
3 times a day?
Okay. Yeah, I figured.
My laundry.
So what's the total?
That was a natural 13 and a natural 18. So that's 18 plus. Investigation, you said, right? So that's a
Yes.
30.
Okay, so 30 total. You peer around the corner and adjust your precision goggles and zoom the focus of it in. And as you peer at the Gondar statue, it does look like as you're peering at the base of the statue that there are portions of it where it looks like there's like a fine dust that has. There's mostly a fine dust on the floor in general, but it appears that there's
It's-
parts around the statue that have like moved,
It's
essentially
like
indicating
disturbed
it's
dust. Like,
yes.
okay.
It feels like it suggests that maybe the statue has been moved in some way.
Well, the statue is definitely the. Oh god. The.
Door.
Yes, the statue is definitely the door down. So.
Great.
So,
Now on
do
to
we
we
torch
move-
these guys?
How
I-
powerful do they look?
The. Cult.
They look fairly weak.
They
Those
look like.
level 14 guys, apparently.
No, they're similar to the ones that look similar to the ones that got nuked by Sissel's Cone of Cold.
They look like the ones that died instantly to Sissel's Cone of Cold.
We can swing that, maybe.
Alright.
Don't have. I could. But
Alright.
we can't get them to leave. To get rid.
Goff, do you think you can use your deck of... No, the deck of illusions I don't think will keep them occupied long enough.
Plus, the range isn't very far for how far I can throw it. I think it's
Yeah.
only 30 feet. And I could give it to you, and you could throw it somewhere.
I could, but then, like, where would I move the illusion? Like, how far away can the illusion move from the card?
Here, I'll get it. I'll bring it up because I don't remember the details. I haven't used it since we were in Crankshaft. I don't think.
Yeah.
Deck. Oh my gosh. You can use an action to draw a card at random from the deck and throw it to the ground at a point within 30 feet of you. An illusion creature appears real.
While you're within 120 feet of it, you can use an action to move it magically anywhere within 30 feet of its guard.
Oh, within 30 feet of its card.
Yes.
Bollocks. So, okay, no, that won't really.
The illusion
do.
lasts until the card is moved, so moving the card would not.
Yeah. You can only go 30 feet from its guard.
How many
Distracting, like, 12
cultists are
people.
there?
Like 12, right?
12. Scattered around.
They're fairly clustered together around the statue.
Sissel,
Yes.
how do you feel about an acid ball and an explosive arrow combo?
Oh, you know I'm always up for an acid ball.
Does it look like it would be within like that range?
Yeah, I think if you centered it on the statue, you'd probably hit all of them.
All right. Um,
At least
Let's
the
do it.
acid ball, not your arrow. Your arrow only has like a
Yeah.
5-foot radius.
I know. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Actually, no. Can you make sure to keep one alive?
I can move the acid ball slightly out of range, but I don't. It might avoid hitting more than one. in
Why
that
don't
case.
you give me a you know what? I'll say give me an Arcana check to see if you can weave the spell in such a way as to angle it just right to only leave one of them alive.
Sissel,
It's
right?
not very often that I get to do that. Holy shit! That's a natural 20 plus 6.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that based on that result, as you're tactically like Sissel stares into the darkness of the interior, and it's like the meme with the lady with the math. You calculate quickly a way to leave one of them unscathed while hitting all the rest.
Okay, that guy's gonna have a bad day,
He will.
but not as bad as his friends. All right.
Holy shit, that's a lot of damage. Okay,
Yes!
I'm gonna have to roll dex saving throws for 11 people. Give me
Boy,
one
you
moment.
know it's acid.
But you know.
Where are they? Cultists. These are like your bog standard cultists. Yeah, these are the little babies. Oh man, I don't even think if they save they can. No, because they only have 9 HP. Now they're all fucking dead.
Oh no!
9.
These are like
Aww.
these are like the CR 1/8 cultists. They're not challenging. They do like they have a +3 to hit and do like 1d6 damage.
Holy shit.
It's like when you
Yeah.
use Elixir Field on like a level 15 dungeon when you're level
God,
70.
right?
So, Thistle, you toss your acid ball in there, and there's just the sound of the whizzing of the spell as it detonates on top of the Ganadar altar and coats the entire thing with acid. Some of the statue itself actually begins to melt a little bit
Oh,
as
yeah,
the
fuck you, Gunnar.
as
Sorry.
the detonation splashes against all of the other cultists, with the exception of one, and this other one steps up in horror to his feet as he watches all of his comrades screaming in pain as this flesh is melted right off their bones. And
I sneak up behind him
puddles.
as he's watching this and say, "So, would you like to tell us how to open that statue?"
I'm assuming we all can move in. Sorry. go
Yeah,
ahead.
he is completely paralyzed by this. He doesn't respond to you. He turns around to face you very slowly. You look down, you see like a little trickle down his leg.
Oh my god.
Oh
Alan makes people piss their pants all the time. Weird.
no.
He tries to take a couple steps back from you.
Goff's there. No, maybe I'm not far. Maybe I'm too far
Careful,
away.
don't step into the acid.
Oh yeah, it's still happening.
He steps into the acid, and he starts screaming in pain as it eats right through his shoe.
You're an
and-
idiot. Do you have ears?
I grab him
Sorry,
out of the acid. We need you to tell us where it is. Please don't die yet.
I don't know.
Oh,
Insight
Maybe-
check.
Give me an insight check.
yeah.
25.
He's fucking lying.
I lean down and I flick him in the side of the head.
Ow!
Don't lie to
Why?
me.
Why?
We're very good at telling when you're lying.
Why? You're lying. You know how to get in there.
Look,
Tell
man.
us.
Look, I took this gig because I thought it would put some bread on the table.
Listen, we don't want your story. I'm sorry.
All right. He points at one of the torch sconces. Just pull that. Can I go now? You
Does it seem
already
like he was being
melted
completely-
my mom?
Oh.
Look, a lot of people who unfortunately get caught up in this cult. It's a cult. They probably have sad stories, and I'm very sorry. But you shouldn't even be here. If you wanted to make some honest money, you should have been doing something else.
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
sorry.
so. Mom would have said that, but she also joined the cult, so I guess what did she know?
It was not a very smart decision. And I smack him on the head, so he knocks him out.
Oh, okay.
Like
do
Luke
an
Cage.
attack roll.
Bop!
Give me an attack roll.
Okay. Do I need to do it?
Alan's very proud.
Do I need to do unarmed, or do I need to do with?
If
hammer?
you do it unarmed, it'll only be like 1 point of damage.
Okay, then I'll do the hilt of my hammer then.
Yeah.
Alan is very proud.
Yes, I hit him. I can tell you that. It's like over
Yeah,
20.
12 AC, so yeah, you hit him.
I rolled a 13. I didn't even need my modifier to hit him.
Okay, so roll damage.
I'm doing not lethally. Does it matter?
Yeah, I know it does because you still need to knock him out.
Math. 10.
It's just enough to knock him out.
Oh my god.
I mean, I could charge it with elemental energy if I
No,
need
that
to.
would hurt. So you pull your hammer out and you just smack him in the side of the head with the handle, and he immediately just collapses to the ground.
And I looked at everyone like I was like, too harsh.
We melted his mom.
I think. Yeah.
He's in the cold.
Did someone draw the fucking S?
That was Mel.
Okay,
And a
I
dick.
drew loss, and then Mel drew the S on top of it, and then Red drew the dick, and then I put the no.
And the dick? Anyway.
All right. So,
What
and
are we
then I
supposed
walk
to do about
over
his mom
to the.
being melted? I'm not going to bring her back to life. It's too.
No.
I don't have enough spell points for all of
They've
this.
probably melted other people's moms. It's fine.
I'm sorry, Eldath, if you're listening. It was a little mean.
I feel like, yeah.
I feel like Eldath won't shed tears over cultists for Gonadar.
You're probably
Gonador
right.
in general. I feel like once you find out what Gonador is about, there's. Sorry.
That's your
I mean,
out.
If you
That's,
voluntarily, if you know that Ganadar is problematic and you voluntarily choose to stay with that, I think that's on you.
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Like at that point, you're a Ganadar apologist.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna check the guy really quick if he has anything on him, like anything
Okay.
that like information wise that might be valuable.
He has a couple silver on him,
No,
and
I don't take that.
That.
not much else. A dagger.
I put 1 gold in his pocket.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was gonna.
What? Man,
I was
look,
gonna do that if Goff did.
Goff, he still feels a little bit bad, even though it's a Gonadar apologist.
Okay, so what do you wish to do now?
Even though he's not valid.
I put him up. I don't know. I drag him outside or something. I don't know. I put him up against a wall somewhere, and
Okay.
and then assuming there's no acid in the way, I try and walk up to the statue and
And pull the torch.
yeah. Is it a torch or was it
Yeah,
a
there's a,
candle?
there's a torch on one of the pillars.
Okay. Oh, then I walk up to that and I try
Okay.
it.
So you turn it, and it turns easily enough as if it were on a mechanism, and with a sound of stone skidding against stone, the Gondor statue pulls away, and you see a staircase, a spiral staircase that leads downward.
Well,
Here we go.
now or never. Should we?
Cecil, you might want to turn on your light.
Okay, blip light.
Blip.
Um,
Okay.
should we?
I will
was
also
it?
draw my sunblade.
Should we-
Radiates light.
Should we look for a way to close it so that we can slow down our lookalikes?
Definitely. Inside, if I look around, is there like a
Give me an investigation check.
okey doke?
Though it would also mean that if any Arcadians that make it this far and would not be able to come and help us.
That is
We are committing to being on our own if we close this off.
a natural 2, so that's a 22.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
You do notice a corresponding lever on the interior of the stairwell that would close it up behind you.
Okay, there's a lever here. We can definitely close it.
If we close it, we're committing to being on our own. But we're
Well-
also hopefully slowing down Doppelganger.
Yes, that's
Suppose
definitely.
that's what we have to do.
You have noticed at this point that the sound of screaming and fighting coming from the shipyard side of the island has been quiet for some time.
I think they're already in.
It's very well maybe, but
Let's yeah.
should we leave it? Should we still close it?
I say yes.
Yes, that way anyone coming in, actually anyone coming in would be suspicious about something happening here. Yeah, let's close it. Impede it. Impede.
Okay.
It'll impede helpers, but it'll also impede. What's the opposite of helpers?
Enemies.
Enemies. Thank you, Goff. That shouldn't have been in character. My Alan is not
Oops.
as stupid as I am.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, I guess we close the statue up then.
Yeah, and let's head in.
And before we do, I look at I look up at the it's like partially melted statue gone, and I just go, "Tuh," and just kind of like in disgust, and then carry on.
Okay, so as you all close up the entrance behind you and begin your descent into the depths of the lonely island Ziggurat to face more unknowns, potentially a confrontation with Mogath, potentially your doppelgangers, and to retrieve the key. That is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Golly.
I'm still like,
I'm real sad that I didn't get to do a combat with that Flesh Guardian because I tried out like a new homebrew, right? A new homebrew concept. So I found this concept on how to make more interesting dynamic boss/mini boss fights without just making everything like a legendary monster.
Right.
And this guy came up with this idea called Paragon creatures, which essentially they are creatures with multiple health pools, and those health pools can signify transformations.
I think I've read about this somewhere before.
And they can also so basically the way it works is like, so for example,
so
using
like
that,
how Kingdom Hearts bosses have multiple health bars.
I don't know. Well, I'll say is like, for example, using that flesh golem, it was a combination of three creatures. It was a flesh golem at the start, then it became a couple of creatures from Xanathar or Mordekainen's Tome of Foes. One was a creature called the Lonely, and the other creature was one called the Hungry.
Oh my god.
And so essentially it had three health pools. Once you whittled the first one down, it turned into the next one, and then it turned into the next one. And at the start, when it has all three health pools, it basically gets a number of turns equal to the number of non-zero health pools it has. So at the start, like when it was still in a flesh golem form, it could basically have 3 turns.
Dude,
So it could have done a full move/attack 3 times.
That's
Dude,
horrifying.
if we got into that combat head on, we would be so fucked for anything
Yeah.
after that. That's ridiculous. We could not have gotten to that
Oh, I
combat.
know,
head
I
on.
know. Like there was that. There was a bunch of low-level cultists. There were 2 revenants and then 2 like 14th level spellcasters. Yeah, it was a really nasty
Ridiculous.
fight.
Yeesh.
And we were just like,
No thanks.
Yeah. Alan saw it, was like, strategy.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm
Strategy.
glad because if you, I was hoping like there were other ways of solving that. Like the initial encounter with those 2 cultists who were fishing, you could have knocked them out and grabbed their robes and tried to impersonate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
And
but also like
There were other
that
ways
would-
of like I had a whole thing like you could have explored the shacks and found instructions on how to use the gun, the cannon, and how to like overload it. Or you could have also found useful passwords that would have helped you in the ziggurat, but it's too late now.
That kind of stuff would have basically banked on like 1 or 2 people in the group because Goff and Mido would have just had to sit on the sidelines because stealth would have been too much of a difficult.
Well, not even stealth, but like deception mostly. Like,
Well, yeah, but even then, like Sissel and Haraith had the highest charisma, and
it's me.
also decent. Well, I don't know about Haraith, but Sissel has decent dex, and Melon has decent. Like it just, I felt like Goff and Mido would have not been really able to do much in that entire. So I'm not saying that those. I'm just saying like that's would have meant that like part of the team would have been basically defunct because they wouldn't have been able to help.
yeah, that's true. I liked your solution. I didn't even think about the whole like flood the encampment. thing.
That was a good
I was
idea.
toying with it for a while we were talking about everything that Ellen could see, and I was like,
See,
yeah,
I'm kind of disappointed at the way the spell is written that you can't do multiple things at once. Because like, if
oh,
I were you,
absolutely.
I would have fucking like raised
Oh,
the water
yeah.
level and then done a redirect flow to send them out to sea,
That's what I wanted to do, but the spell doesn't say you can
or a
necessarily do that.
whirlpool, which probably would.
I
Have
mean,
killed
it
a lot
doesn't
of
say
them.
one way or another, so you can only assume that you can't do both. But I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to redirect flow and push everything out to the ocean, so we would have been way more
It might make
safe.
it way too powerful to do that, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, only if there's water around, though.
Just want
Sorry.
to point out that red is drawn dick butt.
I can't believe Mito almost fucking died forever.
Yeah, holy shit.
Mine was just sitting there like, nah, I can't die.
Like
Oh,
you,
God.
you ever just like it's like I saw my life flash before my eyes, but
Yeah,
it's like I saw someone else's life
I'm
flash before
kind of
my
glad
eyes.
that you opted to use your action surge, because if you sat and were like, no, I'm not going to use it, and I'll wait for my next turn, I'd be like,
You
You're
would have
dead.
been turbo
You're
dead.
absolutely dead. That would have been a really huge kick in the nuts or whatever.
Yeah, that would
like,
have really thrown a wrench in things.
Like we weren't even fighting like the final boss of the arc. We were just trying to get the Arcadians to like board the or get onto the island, and Mito just dies in the process like outright. That would have been really fucked.
yeah, it would have.
oh god, that would have been so.
I ain't
fucked
pulling
up.
my punches with you guys anymore. This shit, it's on now. I mean, this is.
Oh, my head itches. I'm gonna die.
I was like 90% sure Artor was gonna be like a mini boss or a boss.
No.
I thought for sure because he's been on the island for so long.
I basically had him being a torture victim the whole time.
Okay.
Oh, poor guy.
If you had been any longer,
Irony.
yeah. If you had been any longer, like I basically had a timer where he had basically 6 apprentices that came with him, and every day they killed one off. And by the
Jeez.
end of it, they would have tortured him to death and turned him into a revenant.
Oof.
And
It would have been a mini boss.
he would have been a mini boss, but you got there just in time.
Yay!
That's like in a Mass Effect if you take too long to go to the collector base.
Oh yeah.
Now Goth can rub it in his face for the rest of his life.
Cecil would be proud.
He's probably too traumatized from a week worth of torture to really care.
I know.
Well, that's
But-
not satisfying.
Goth wouldn't do that anyway. He's not that kind of person. He would make snide remarks if the conversation prompted it.
But I mean, what's he gonna do these days? Like, his goddess has left the islands. He's literally just like the high priest without a cause.
Convert.
Look, okay. Here's the thing that I've been thinking about. Had no intention of spreading Eldath or anything coming to this place. I just want to get in, get that fucking thing, get out. And like she's actively causing this problem herself. She's like, I don't want Eldath being spread on my islands. I'm abandoning all my people now. Like she's self-destructing. Like
Yeah, she's not. It's not about Eldath's being spread to the island. She wanted them to stay with piracy and to glorify
Sure.
her.
but like
Her power comes from, a god's power comes from its adherents and from their worship. And if they're not engaging in piracy, if they are not sending ships to the bottom of the ocean and littering it with gold, she's not being worshipped and glorified. So, in
so
her
she
mind,
loses power.
it's
she
still
loses
it's just
power.
right. I mean, I'm still not trying to spread it but the chances of people converting to other faiths is like higher because she's abandoning them.
Yeah.
So it's like
Goth coming in like, have you heard the good word?
Goth comes in with a bunch of chick tracks.
Oh my god.
chick tracks.
Oh, that's
That's a bad thing.
that's an internet adventure for you to have.
I'm not
That's
looking
my
it up.
childhood.
Give me
Just
a
look
clip
up
notes
Jack
on it.
Chick.
Yeah,
Oh wait, isn't he a cartoonist?
A bad cartoon.
kind of. Yeah.
He dead. He dead,
Chick,
by the way.
Chick tracks are he died.
Thankfully, he was bad.
Yeah.
Did you know when I was younger, on Halloween, the church would have the kids go out and distribute tracts to people?
That
Oh,
does
no,
not
that
surprise me
doesn't
in
surprise
the
me. That's fucked.
slightest.
But yeah, next week I think will be the concluding session of this arc.
I'm gonna be so damn tired.
It was really a
Longest-
long, what a
longest
long ass
gamble
arc this has
ever.
been.
Sorry, it's partially my fault because I keep having long, dramatic conversations with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been good.
We also keep spending like a shitload of time planning, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
I mean, like, we've watched Vox Machina, and
Yeah,
we've
we've
been, like,
learned from Vox Machina.
Plus, we've had. I mean, these are in situations where, like that situation before we dealt with the cannon, like we had the time to plan it out. So I felt like it was fair enough that we came up with a plan, as opposed to like, well, you have to decide within 6 seconds. Like we actually.
Yeah,
had some
it's probably
time.
good that you didn't go into that because I think with your current levels, you would have probably taken a lot of damage, or at least one person go unconscious in that
Yeah,
fight.
we also
then we
would
would've-
have blown like all of
A
our
lot
shit.
of and then the final fight would have been really bad.
Yeah, whatever that final fight might be.
Yeah.
Thinking face emoji.
Thinking face emoji.
I'm laying a lot of seeds right now, and it's gonna be so good next week.
Oh boy.
I will admit, I'm a little sad that we're doing this solo because I kind of wanted the general to be with us so he could punch people. I just wanted to see him Major Armstrong it up.
Yeah.
I love General Vogel. He's so good. He's basically Major Armstrong. When I imagined him, I was like, yeah, he's Major Armstrong.
Good.
I thought it was weird that we were running away, but I guess it makes sense because we don't have a lot of time to waste. I thought we were gonna wait for the Arcadians to pull up and then we would like move in with them, but
No, they told you outright. They said, don't wait for us.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember that.
Admiral Tempest literally said, like, time is of the essence.
That's okay.
Once you clear one of the camps and we start moving in, don't wait for us. Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because we're definitely like racing against.
You're racing against the clock against your doppelgangers at this point.
Yeah.
But they're
Whatever
almost.
else-
But like, it doesn't matter how fast or slow we are. We're almost certainly going to see those motherfuckers at least once. I
Gonna beat
believe.
'em up.
Well, we'll see depending on when we see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll
you
probably
still
just
got
walk
Mogath,
away.
you still got Mogath to deal with down there as well.
What
Does
if
he
we
just walk
just
around carrying his own head, or does he just not have a head?
You'll see.
Oh God.
What if we just let them deal with him?
I'm-
first?
Let's also not forget that the fact that the island has some kind of fish flesh underneath it.
Yeah,
not
well,
forget
How about that?
I was trying to come up with a way to combine that, but it's just flesh.
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 Fillet of flesh.
Also, Red. I'm just imagining that evil Roscoe is just the big dog from the cartoon shirts.
That
And-
is literally look and wiggle, look and wiggle.
Yeah.
I hate this. This is not Roscoe. This is not evil Roscoe. Get out of
Sure.
here.
I mean,
Is
this
Evil
is-
Roscoe a different dog? Like a different kind of dog?
Sorta. You'll see.
Evil Roscoe.
Is Tackle still with us?
No, Tackle stayed.
Oh,
on
right.
the ship.
We left them on the
He's
ship.
still
That's
on the
right.
ship, yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, honestly, Tackle is so big.
Tackle would not have
Tackle
done well.
Tackle might have to join the little woodland animals club for being
No,
too.
Tackle
Tackle would
once,
eat the woodland
once,
animals.
once this whole key arc is over, Tackle becomes a full-fledged like combat member,
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
this
He
is
could be
gonna have
used
to
in
do
combat.
some training montage.
and I'll have to homebrew some stats for him so he's not totally useless.
Yeah.
Because
Not a trinket sort of situation.
not a trinket.
Trinket in
Trinkle.
late game, at least. He was probably fine near the beginning of the show, but as it quickly.
Was
Yeah.
he really? Like,
I feel like he was
I'm
he
trying
was
to remember
okay.
even back at like the level 10 or 11 when they were back in.
I remember him
Never
always
dark.
being garbage. I'll say that right now.
It's because his AC was low. He would always get hit. He didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of
At
HP.
least the good thing with Tackle is he has
Got
the
the displacement.
displacement.
What if?
Yeah, but he has to have a corresponding high AC, otherwise, like they'll still hit him even with disadvantage.
What if
Yeah.
what if the doppelgangers were looking like us, but they just had pointy sunglasses on,
Oh yeah.
They had the rude sandstorm
and they all
sunglasses
and male or female or whatever in between, they all had little evil goatees
No, like
and a
all of
golden
them-
tooth that shine when they smile.
When all your evil doppelgangers show up, they all have like Darude Sandstorm sunglasses and trench coats on, and as they
Yeah.
get closer and closer, it's like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm still thinking that at some point in the future they're going to be not as evil as we think. That's my fan theory. I think that there's
Fan
that
theory.
there's I think that there's a chance that that they're not necessarily our enemies.
Is it a fan theory if you're in it?
I don't know.
Who knows?
This is
my
this
head
is
canon.
my fan fiction, my fanon.
My
I don't know.
favorite.
I just see like I don't see. I just
This
I
is
know
my
we-
headcanon about Ellen, my OC.
We have very little interactions with them, but I don't know. I just get this vibe that they're not outright evil. But maybe that's wrong. I mean, Eldath did say that the Goth doppelganger had fallen very far from the light, so that
Didn't one of
Yeah.
them try to kill me once?
Yeah.
When?
No.
Oh.
They put you. They knock you out and then put you to sleep.
Oh right.
Mido's doppelganger.
Nega
I still
Mido was
like
pretty
that.
spicy.
Mido didn't attack any of you, Mido's doppelganger. She just
He
stopped her.
disactivated
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Goth doppelganger dropped
Stop
an
the
earthquake on you.
yeah.
to
So they're
block
not
off the
trying to kill us, which is part of the reason why I don't think they're necessarily evil. It could be one of those morally gray things, or maybe like. I mean,
Warriors
I'm
of
just
Darkness.
completely. I mostly because I'm just hoping that there's something more complex than we're evil, but who knows? We'll
Yeah.
find out.
It's either going to be Warriors of Darkness or the darkest timeline from Community. It's one or the other.
What's the darkest timeline from Community?
That was
Pizza.
hey, you remember that episode where it was the really famous one where he like
I never
tossed
watched
okay.
Community
There's
except
a
for the D&D
famous
episode.
It's a GIF.
episode called it's where the Troy coming back with pizza gif is from.
Oh.
It's an
okay.
episode where basically it's called Applied Chaos Theory or something where they're basically deciding who's going to go get the pizza. So they roll a dice or something, and there's basically a short scene for every timeline that happens based on who goes to get the pizza. Yeah, and there's a timeline, the one where Troy goes to get the pizza, where like one person dies and a bunch of really shitty, awful stuff happens, and they all end up being their most evil selves. And it's like a
Oh my God.
plot thing.
Oh, I love this. This video of the guy with this fucking chicken parm and sliding it right off the plate. It's
Oh, it lands on the keyboard.
This guy's such an idiot.
Oh no! Oh no! Don't no! No! Don't no!
Oh god, I'm gonna stop
I love the
recording.
cat in the background. Do you see the